Hello everyone and welcome to the Community Spotlight. We've got a special show for you all today. I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently, but tomorrow is the 5th anniversary of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt's release, and since we have a scheduled show tomorrow, it will be Time Capsule at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you tune in for that. We decided to celebrate it today. So we're going to be starting off with some DLC runs. We're going to be doing the Blood and Wine DLC first. It's going to be a race between Puzzle and Boostmaster, who apparently are going to be running different routes that are very similar in time, just to showcase the two different ways of doing this speedrun. Then we're going to be following it up with another DLC, which I need to look up the name of real quick because I forgot, Hearts of Stone. And then we're going to have an any percent run to close up the night. So it's going to be a fun night of Witcher 3 speedrunning, so hope you all stay tuned and enjoy all of that. But before we get too deep into The Witcher, just have a few quick announcements. As I mentioned before, Time Capsule is tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a show about games that were released in the same year and showcasing their speedruns. So that's a lot of fun. You should check that out. And later this week, we've got the two new shows debuting. We've got Game Masters, which is a show about like speedrunning adjacent content. Things that are very impressive showcases of skill that aren't necessarily speedrunning, like Tetris, the Step It Up showcase that happened at CRDQ, that sort of thing. And then on Saturday we've got, and I quote, Tina's RPG show, I guess, at 1 p.m. Eastern, which is Tina Hack's show about RPGs, and not quite, Game Masters is Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern. So you all should check that out. And meanwhile, we've got Witcher 3 people here. Hello, how are you all doing?
Yes, hello. I'm doing good. So, yeah, welcome. This is Witcher 3. You didn't think we could speedrun this game, but yeah, we can. So,
why don't you, people who are talking, why don't you introduce yourselves first?
So my name is Nick. I'm one of the main runners in this game, but I'm not running. I'm just going to commentate.
I'm Kajik. I'm going to be doing a commentary as well for now. I'm going to be running any percent alt patch at the end of this community spotlight, and I also have world record in that, so watch out.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I believe one of our runners is going to be talking to us. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
Hello, everyone. I am Puzzle. I'm going to be running Blood and Wine. I'm going to be using alchemy routes, so a lot of bombs and explosions to defeat enemies. But you won't hear me talking too much. Just kind of mentioning it, little things here or there. But hope everyone likes the show.
All right.
Yeah, and then we also got a Boostmaster here. He's not going to commentate, but I'll commentate for him. He's going to be doing the combat route, which is the older route, but I find it better because I'm the one who runs that route as well. But he's going to be using his sword and skill points to try and do a lot of damage to all the enemies instead of using bombs like Puzzle.
Yeah, and it's a good showcase. In a lot of games, there's similar routes that are very different, but they're like similar in time. And, just play the one you want to play. I'm a big proponent of speedrunning the way you like to speedrun. So why don't you give us the rundown? Like, how is this going to be different from the main game of Witcher?
Well, first of all, this is a DLC. It's a brand new world. This is a Tulisant, which I think is the most beautiful world that the CD Projekt has ever created. But strats are mainly the same. It's just routing techniques are a little bit different. And at the beginning of the run, you'll be seeing we're going to do some skill point setup here with some skill points. And we don't have that in the main game. We get that while we run the main game, but at the beginning of Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone coming up next, we're gonna get a certain amount of skill points, and we're gonna equip them in a certain way to either have good damage on bombs or more damage with your sword.
All right.
Exactly, because you're not supposed to start the DLC by itself, because it's an additional content you should do at the end of your normal playthrough of the main game, but you can also start it separately by using the save provided by the game, and that's why you're gonna see the runners just add some skill points, because we're gonna start from the certain pool that is up there.
Yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say, but we're doing this backwards. So we're doing this. Blood and Wine was released last, and then we have Hearts of Stone, which was released in the middle, and then 90% was released in the beginning, but that's the longest category.
Is there anything important that you think the viewers should know before we get started? Or do you think we're ready to go?
Yes, we do use an auto hotkey, so basically it's a script that we use to skip through cutscenes instead of button mashing, because in 90% anyway, there's a lot of cutscenes that you have to button mash through, and trust me, if you did button mashing for 3 hours like we used to do like a couple years ago, it's really, really annoying. So we use an auto hotkey, and I don't know if the runners have it on now, but if you see the words auto in the top left, that means the auto hotkey is on for that runner.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just mashing keys, we hold one that does the mashing for ourselves. We like our hands. We don't want any injuries. We promote healthy speedrunning. That's why we incorporated it into our community.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. If we are good to go, though, then we can get started. Does somebody want to give a countdown?
Yeah, I'll give one. We'll start from 3. So 3, 2, 1, go. So the first thing you're going to see coming out of the loading screen here, we're going to be going into the option menus. Both runners are going to be going into the options and turning off tutorials, because the game, even though we have the tutorials off in the main menu, the game likes to turn it on for us. So you can see Boost doing that now. Puzzle's still in the loading screen, and then they're going to immediately hop off Roach here and then grab the contract on the right, and then they're going to open their inventory and their skill points, and they're going to set that up. Boost is doing that right now.
And as you can see, they're gonna go for 2 different routes. Boostmaster is going for the combat route, which is a regular route for Witcher speedrunning, and the puzzle goes for the more finicky one with alchemy, because bombs are OP in this game, and you're gonna see exactly why.
We should mention that Puzzle's menuing is a little bit slower, but he's the only runner that runs on controller, which I think is amazing. So you'll be seeing.
And he's actually keeping at the pace with every other speedrunner that's playing on keyboard. So yeah. It's not a disadvantage.
A big disadvantage. His menuing is a lot slower if you notice. So we're just gonna talk to some guys here. We have dialogue options that we have to watch out for, because if we have the wrong dialogue options, sometimes it's slower. For example, if we hit 1 here instead of 2, there's a big fight here and we don't want to do. We can just skip that, and we all have these memorized, hopefully. So you're going to come into Tulisant here. The first thing we're going to do is going to see a boss fight. So there's two different quick kills with a Boostmaster here doing the combat route. He's going to roll to the right. No, he's doing the different strat. Okay, well, normally you would roll to the right, wait until he attacks you, and then do a Ren spam to insta-kill him. And then Puzzle's just going to use bombs to clear him out pretty quickly. You'll see that Puzzle's probably going to take an early lead. So yeah, Boostmaster gets.
Remember when I said bombs are OP? Yeah, they can 1-shot or 2-shot the boss, just like that.
Yeah, so Boostmaster actually just learned this route last week, just specifically for the hotfix. So he might not be doing the most optimal strats that I'm talking about, but anyway, so he saw him. He grabbed the red mutagen there, so he's going to equip that, and he's not going to be touching the skill point tree anymore. So that's going to give him the maximum damage that he can get. And he's also going to be using a Thunderbolt in places to increase his damage as well. So here we're coming up to, both runners are coming up to a skill skip here. So we're going to examine these footprints on the ground, and then we're going to try to examine the bloodstains on the ground and get in the water before we get into combat with the skewers here. And then we can just skip killing those 3 skewers. So it looks like a puzzle here. I should mention we're doing mutagen glitch. So with alchemy, you're a bit lower level than usual, so we use a mutagen glitch to increase damage. And then you see Boostmaster there, he got the skewer skip, so he's going to grab this thing in the water. It's actually my favorite item in the game. It's a nice little nod that this is a DLC that we're playing.
Yeah, because the initials are DLC, who would have thought?
Yeah.
Did you actually explain what the mutagen glitch is?
Yeah, I tried to. I don't run alchemy, so I'm trying to explain it, but by switching mutagens over and over, the game gets confused, and it actually results in us giving a little bit more damage with bombs and sword blows. But you'll see Boostmaster's not going to be going for that, because it's not necessary in the combat route.
Yeah, but in the alchemy route, you need a little bit more damage with your sword, because you will need to deal it, and you don't have any skill points there. So you use a mutagen, and from my knowledge, I don't run the DLC, so I might be wrong, but from my knowledge, the thing that you do is you take 1 mutagen that increases your attack and switch between 2 slots, and every time you add it to a different slot, it actually adds up instead of just switching the values. So if you constantly switch between the two slots, it adds up to infinity. But we don't need infinite amount of attack. We
Yeah.
just need good enough. So we don't spend enough time. We don't spend that much time in the menu, but we still get enough attack to help us.
Yeah,
in the late
we're
game.
notorious for having 1 HPs, meaning the boss has like a couple HP points left. It's kind of annoying, but anyway, we're coming up to Brooks a quick kill here on Boostmaster's side. He's gonna use Ard here, and then he's gonna use a spin attack and hopefully kill the Brooks head in one hit or in one chance. No, he didn't get it unfortunately, and then yeah, Puzzle's just gonna be using bombs. We're actually pretty much neck and neck at this point. Because Puzzle did have to do Mutagen Glitch, but Boostmaster did not, so Puzzle had to waste some time while Boostmaster could catch up.
So for like the top times on these two routes, how far apart are they?
They're about 20 to 30 seconds.
Oh wow.
Last I checked. Yeah, they're pretty close. Actually,
And they are entirely different, so...
Yeah, like I'm second on the leaderboard, I used the combat route, and then I think Boostmaster is in first place, and he used the alchemy route.
Yeah, that's really impressive that they're that close.
Yeah, in Hearts of Stone, it's not the case. We'll talk about that when we get there.
Because our next run is going to be Hearts of Stone. We do, as we mentioned at the beginning, we do DLCs in the reverse order. So we do Blood and Wine DLC first, then Hearts of Stone, and then we do the main game. And the DLC is not something added to the game. It's a separate story that takes, as you can see in the speedrun, 50 minutes. So I think that's a lot.
Yeah. So here we're coming up to the I don't remember the name, but this boss
Shalmar.
here. Shalmar, thank you. It's pretty easy to kill. Puzzle uses bombs, of course, and then we just use a spin attack, which we equip with skill points to finish him off in Boostmaster's side. So we just got some cutscenes here. It's kind of annoying, and then we're gonna ride Roach to the next part of the game. This is kind of like a horse race, but kind of not as well. So Roach, you might know if you played this casually, Roach is not a very good horse. He likes to spawn, especially for us, he likes to spawn as far away as possible at every time. But we can kind of manipulate where he spawns by looking a certain direction, and most of the time that he will spawn behind us. Oh, actually, it's a she. I just found that out recently.
Yeah, Roach is actually a mare, so it's a she, but
Yeah,
no one
I just
actually
found that out
cares
recently.
about that much.
It blew my mind when I found out.
Yeah, I'm the lore fact checker here, so I have to keep this up in checks. And yeah, as you've mentioned, the usual way to spawn Roach is turn around, because Roach technically cannot spawn when we are looking in this direction. So we turn around so the Roach is actually ahead of us instead of behind us. Because everyone that played Witcher knows that Roach can spawn at any different location you want, and most of the time it's not that great.
It's reminding me of the callback to that in the standalone Gwent game, where there's the card Roach that's just standing on top of like a building, just making a joke about how Roach tends to appear in inconvenient locations.
Yeah, and I'm just seeing in chat now, people are asking about difficulty. You might have saw that we're playing on the easiest difficulty because it's the fastest.
Obviously.
That will change for a very
That
quick
will-
second, though.
That will change. Yeah, exactly. We'll explain that in a couple minutes when we come up to it. But we're using Axie there to start in the unicorn, and then we're gonna ride down to the water here. So we're gonna grab a key from under the water without actually diving under the water. It's very precise where you have to do it, but most of the time it's pretty easy. So it looks like Puzzle got the location. Yeah, they both got it actually, so that's good. And they're pretty much neck and neck here. So coming up here, we're gonna have the first encounter with the Beast of Tulisant, which his name is Detlef if you played casually. But you see the Puzzle there switches difficulty to the hardest one, which is Death March, and Boostmaster is going to be doing the same. And the reason why we do that is because you can't, from my understanding, you can't kill this boss. And the fastest way to get out of this boss fight is to actually quote unquote kill you. You won't die, but that's just how it works.
Basically, it's a scripted loss, so we boost the level of difficulty to the highest one, so we die faster.
Yes, there we go. And sometimes it's actually possible that you don't die instantly, you get two-shot. It's kind of annoying, but... Yeah, and then, yeah, it gets a couple cutscenes, and now we're going to be running through Tulisant here. And yeah, they're going to switch the difficulty back to just the story. Only problem is that we cannot get achievements anymore. Sad.
Oh, full 100% achievements run ruined right now.
Yeah.
Is it the changing the difficulty that turns off the
Yeah,
achievements?
changing the difficulty turns off achievements for the rest of the save file.
Interesting.
Even if you've changed it for the harder one, which makes no sense.
Yeah, that's weird.
So yeah, we're just running through a Tucson here. We're gonna be going over to I keep forgetting the name of the characters for some reason. We're going to oh yeah, chat reminded me, thank you. We're going to Regis, we're gonna go talk to him. And then we have a small skip coming up right before, and we'll explain that coming up. We're gonna spawn Roach here. Again, we're gonna try to manipulate his spawn, and hopefully he's gonna spawn in the right spot. Boost looks like he got lucky. He spawned where exactly where he wants us to. And you might see us without using Roach in the town because you can't sprint with Roach when using him in a big city, like right here Tucson or Novigrad in the base game. And Puzzle didn't get the best one, but he got a decent one as well. So we're coming up to Kikimore skip here, so we're gonna dismount Roach, get into the cave, and then there's a small window where you can smash the jump button and you get out of combat, so you can pass the 3 Kikimores that you have to kill. So we're gonna be, I don't know if the runners are gonna be going for that, but I don't know, Puzzle might be going for that, I'm not sure, but it's pretty hard to do.
Pick some other place to meet.
So he's gonna be running up to this rock here. Looks like he's Puzzle's not Boostmaster's not going for it. He's just gonna kill the Kikimores normally. I don't know if Puzzle's gonna go for it. No pressure.
Just kind of called him out, so...
Yeah, oh, he's not gonna be. Doesn't look like he's going for it either. It's a pretty difficult trick, but it saves killing these 2 Kikimores in the cave here.
What's
Saves
the
about 10 to
downside if
15.
you go for it and you miss it?
If you miss it, it's not really a problem. You just have to kill the Kikimores anyway. You can actually go for it twice. That's what I do. But yeah, you just have to kill the Kikimores. It's not really much of a time loss, maybe like a second or two. But you know, you got to save all that time. And then yeah, Boost is just coming into a cutscene here. So next up, we're gonna get back on Roach wherever he spawned, and then we're gonna Regis here tells us to go to find a right. I actually don't know why, because he can fact check me on that. But there's another small skip here that personally I do. I don't know if these runners will be doing it today, but if you examine the cauldron and then the plates on the table in the cauldron, you can actually skip a couple seconds of waiting, getting into the wardrobe. That's coming up maybe in 30 seconds. I'll point it out when we get there. But right now it's just riding across the field. There's nothing important to talk about.
If I remember correctly, we go to the right because we need saliva for alchemical stuff, but I may be mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not too sure either.
Yeah,
most of the runners we do a combination of different routes. So we're gonna try to ride Roach up the stairs here. Boost is coming up here, and it's just a little bit faster than running up. It's relatively new strat. Looks like he's gonna go for it. Roach on the stairs is finicky at best, and then he's gonna hop off while the cutscene fades out. That skips a dismount cutscene where Geralt just gets off Roach. So yeah, he's gonna examine these things here. We're examining this stuff in certain order, so we can get the cutscene without having to fight the right. So it looks like Puzzle's going for it. As I said, he's examining the cauldron and then the plates, and then the cauldron again just to get into the wardrobe, and skipping 5 or 10 seconds of waiting. And then there we just did some dialogue there to skip the right fight scene.
Is that another type of thing where there's no real downside of going for it?
Yeah, most of the tricks in this run, there's no real downside to go for it.
Well, I do want to point out though, with the white examining, the only downside is there is a bug where you do not get experience fully for examining, and that bug will cause you to be underleveled for the final boss in the game for phase 2. So I am trying to be a little bit more careful to ensure I have the correct experience so I do not be underleveled for that boss fight.
Interesting.
Because being underleveled means that the boss deals way more damage than usually. And you deal almost no damage, even though you have bombs that should kill him pretty fast.
So yeah, so now we're gonna come up to a notorious spot in the run. I dub it the cage fight, and basically everyone else dubs it too. So unfortunately, Boostmaster, he instead of hopping through the doorway there, hopped on top of the wall. So he lost a couple seconds there. But yeah, you can kind of hop through that doorway when it's like halfway open. And then we're gonna grab the armor here. Just we're gonna be using that later. And then yeah, so here the premises is the first part. You have to place some baits in the tunnel, and you can actually, if you go too fast, you can actually glitch the game out. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but you can just remedy it by saving and reloading the game. And you saw Puzzle there, he went for a small time save there to jump and go past the spiral staircase and just to save a couple seconds going down that. So Boostmaster here, he's gonna place some baits. He's got 4 in total, but so yeah, the game can glitch out. If you place the third bait before Regis stops talking, the game will glitch out and you can't talk to Regis. So we're gonna wait till Regis is done talking before he places the bait down.
3 done.
And then he's got the 4th bait to place down, and then yeah, he's gonna go talk to Regis.
If you do mess it up and you have to save and load, do you have to replace all of the baits again?
Yeah, you have to replace all the
Yeah.
baits. There's an auto save like right before, thankfully, but it's a reset point for us.
Yeah, it's
And
still
then
like
normally-
10 or 15 seconds,
yeah.
it seems like.
15-20 seconds depending on how fast your SSD is. And then here you're supposed to equip some oil here, but Boostmaster didn't do it. That's okay. It's not gonna waste any time. Just makes killing some of these enemies faster. So the premises of this fight, you have to kill. There's 3 waves of enemies here. You have to kill all the skewers in each wave to move on to the next part of the game. And this is notorious because sometimes you can just randomly die by getting killed by an explosion. But Boostmaster has the advantage here. He has a skill called Undying. So if he has 1 adrenaline point in the red bar at the right under the yellow stamina bar, it'll regen some of his health when he dies. So it looks like Boostmaster is done, and Puzzle is right behind him as well. Puzzle does have a harder time because he has to use bombs and sword blows as well, and he deals a little bit less damage than otherwise would. So now that we're done with that, we're gonna be done with Regis for now. We're gonna actually, no, what am I saying? We're gonna do one more thing with him. So we found out where Detloff, the Beast of Toussaint, lives. So we're gonna go examine his house. But first, we have to find we have to get some details on where the house is. So we're gonna ask this bootleg here. We got a small fight sequence here. This is pretty annoying too. Fist fighting in general in this game is not very good, especially in speedruns. So that was pretty clean on his side. We'll see how Puzzle does. There's no difference between Crown Button and Alchemy here. You do the same damage, whatever category you run.
One
Yeah,
thing
because
to note-
fist fighting is pretty much set in this game.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, now we're gonna be running over to Detloff's house, or his nest, as the game likes to call it. So we're gonna be just picking up some papers here. Nothing special. Just finding out what's his motive for the killings and all that. Because the premises of this game or this DLC is that he's been killing some people randomly, and the princess called us to try to get rid of him, basically.
One thing to note is that this is actually closer than it looks because Puzzle's stream is a few seconds more delayed than Boost's. So this is
Good
still
point.
very close.
So yeah, now we're finally done with Regis. So now we're gonna go talk to Anna Henrietta, who's the Duchess of this land. I said princess earlier. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah. So now this is more or less the next couple minutes is a glorified auto scroller. There's not much we can do to speed this up. Maybe we can talk about the lore a little bit. Although I mentioned a lot of it earlier, so.
Yeah, as you've mentioned, lore-wise, we're called to the land of Toussaint just to figure out the mysterious deaths of certain people that are seemingly not connected, but as we figure out later in the game, they actually are. I'm not gonna spoil everything because it's the last DLC and many people have not played it yet, and you should because it's good. But eventually we start to figuring out what actually is happening, what's the big deal, who is behind everything, etc., etc.
Yeah, we probably should have mentioned this. There's going to be a lot of spoilers, especially in the 90% run at the very end. So if you haven't played this game, although you probably have, maybe go play this
It's
game.
5th anniversary. You should have at this
Yeah,
point.
most people have played
Didn't
this game.
you?
There's also a pretty big, difference between seeing the game with the vast majority of the cutscenes skipped and playing it yourself.
True.
Just a few major story points will get revealed.
So yeah, we're going to ride Roach over to the vineyard here. The premises of this, we have to inspect some wine. It's basically a glorified auto-scroller, as I said earlier. There's a couple ways we can speed this up, but not really. For the first part here, we have to wait for Anna Henrietta to get through the door and unlock it for us. So we can, if we go fast enough, we can actually run ahead of her, although it doesn't do anything because we still have to wait for her to walk over. So Puzzle got that there. You can still run over to the door and wait for her to come over. Nothing really special here, it's just pretty slow. And yeah, Boostmaster's going to equip a sword there. We're going to be using that later on. That's the sword that we picked up in the cage fight earlier. So we're going to be doing a small sequence break here, so we're going to be skipping a couple lines of dialogue. Just some minor optimizations here.
So where do we start?
So it looks like Boostmaster got it and Puzzle's coming right up behind him. So yeah.
I have to say it's a really close race.
Yeah. We don't know how close because there's a small stream delay, but
I think Boostmaster is still a little bit ahead
yeah.
based on the delay that I tested before the stream. But it's, maybe less than 10 seconds.
Yeah, so now we have to knock on the barrels to see if they're empty. Spoiler alert, they're not. So Anna Henrietta here doesn't help a lot. We have to do 5 of the 6 barrels, and she only does the last one for us.
This one's full too.
It's kind of a little finicky sometimes if you miss the first one.
Full.
But looks like looks like both runners are in the clear. Puzzle's just doing it now on my side. But yeah, while Anna Henrietta is talking, we're gonna grab this tap and a hammer that we're gonna be using a couple seconds here. So we can just do that while she's talking, thankfully. So what you're going to be seeing, both runners, we're going to be opening 2 wine barrels here. So it's actually slightly faster in my testing to open the left one first than the right one. So we're going to be doing that. And then you'll see Boost equipping a bomb while Anna Henrietta is just tasting the wine.
So
It's really slow and annoying here.
Why is it faster to open the left one, given that it's further away?
Because Anna Henrietta, for some reason, she moves a little bit faster towards it.
Okay.
We don't know why actually. I just tested it and it's slightly faster. And looks like
She has a preference, okay?
Yeah, she does.
She knows her wine, okay?
So it looks like Boost got through that. So now there's gonna be a fight scene here. Right after this cutscene. Here we are. So we're going to be throwing a northern wind that's going to freeze all the enemies. And then he's going to be using a spin attack here to kill as many enemies as possible while they're all frozen. And you see, you might see some insta kills. That's basically every time you hit an enemy, you have a meter kind of, and every time you hit an enemy, the meter kind of fills up for a % chance of having an insta kill. So it looks like you got a couple insta kills there, and then Puzzle's just going to be using some grape shot bombs to clear all of them out. With Alchemy, there's a lot of bomb management that comes in, because we have to have, for most spots, you have to have a certain amount of bombs to progress. If you don't have enough bombs, you can't really get through it, and sometimes you just can't meditate to regen bombs because you're in combat.
Yeah, that one important note. Every time you meditate in this game, you replenish the amount of bombs you have. And you can only have limited amounts, as you probably may wonder. It's not that much, so the alchemy rat has to meditate often. And you can only do this in between the fights, not during ones, because you're still in combat.
Yes, we have strategies to meditate really quickly. So if you meditate for the next hour and then you exit meditation and immediately cast Quen, you can actually skip the animation of Geralt jumping up. That saves a couple seconds. Then we have another kind of glorified auto-scroller here. This soiree here. We gotta examine a couple things to find the Centurion. So we have an unskippable cutscene right here. It's actually disguised as the loading screen for this section. It's the only unskippable cutscene on the run.
So for the amount of bombs you can carry, are you able to increase that throughout this run, or are you just stuck on the same number the entire time?
You are able to increase it. Depends on the skill points that you get. But yeah, you can increase it. You can either increase the bombs to 4 maximum, or you can have 3 bombs and then have heavy artillery, which deals twice as much damage per bomb, if I'm correct. I do run alchemy on a different category though, so what I'm saying might be a little bit different.
To chime in regarding the bombs and alchemy route, there's a skill point called heavy artillery, which increases bomb damage by 200%. But the downside to getting that skill point is it reduces your amount of bombs by half. There's another skill point that increases your amount of bombs, although with heavy artillery in this run, it brings it to a max of 4 bombs. So I try to maintain a certain amount of both, and there's certain areas in the game that'll auto meditate as well. But with the alchemy skill or alchemy skill route, more or less bombs are altered because of it.
Yeah, so right now we just kind of skipped over a part of the run. So what we're doing here is we grabbed some stuff, and then we immediately try to grab something out of the, like, torch, for example, or trying to loot a chest to skip some dialogue here. I think Puzzle's right up to that right now, and Beastmaster just got through that. So it looks like he's doing all right with that. Doing that actually just skips some dialogue and just makes the cutscene fade out a lot faster than if you just waited for the dialogue to complete. And then now we're coming up to a notorious spot for deaths in the run. You probably see a death from either one of the runners here. We'll hope not. Crossing my fingers we won't, but we'll see.
Let's see if you cursed it or not.
Yeah. I tend to do that sometimes. But so the premise of this is we have to rescue someone and get information from him. And we have to kill a bunch of enemies. Boost will use his sword as, obviously, and then Puzzle will just use bombs. But in my opinion, it's just a lot easier to use the sword, because sometimes if you miss a bomb, you can't really get that back until you meditate.
So what's
have a limited amount of...
What's the big danger of this part that causes deaths? Is
So
the fight just difficult?
There's a lot of enemies. The enemies, most of them are overleveled, so they deal more damage than normal. So yeah, and then at the very end, there's a huge... The end of the first section, there's a lot of enemies in one spot, so you can get hit from a lot of different directions, so you can easily die there. I'm gonna try to minimize that. So Puzzle here's gonna meditate just to get his bombs back. Boost is ready. Pass the first set of enemies here. I don't know if he's gonna try this new strat with the Northern Wind to freeze him. But he might. Looks like he's not. Oh no, he will. So he's gonna be using a spin attack to freeze up the enemies with Northern Wind and then just kill all of them at once. That's more of the safer strat. There's another strat where you use Northern Wind and Rend to have more damage, but you have more of a chance to get hit and die. And then Puzzles is coming up to the second section here. You can probably hear him mashing on his controller in the background.
Yeah, just a little bit. Might not be audible over the game sound.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
No worries.
It's not loud at all.
Well, there's proof that you use a controller.
Yep.
It's also
And it proves that the run is really intense.
Yeah, Puzzle is really close, or not Puzzle, sorry, Boost is really close to dying there. He already used up his adrenaline point for undying, so he's going to try and play it safe with a one here too. To try and kill all these enemies at once, and Puzzle just got through the first section here. So we kind of glossed over Rend and the spin attack, but this is a good time to explain it. So Rend is the sword blow there. It can do a lot of damage, and it can actually you can still hit a guy through a shield if he does have a shield, but none of them do here.
And enemies with shields are the worst kind of enemies in The Witcher.
Yeah, true. And then a spin attack is very useful if you have a big group of enemies. You can go clear them out really quickly.
So Rend is the big overhead swing that he's doing?
So yeah, it depends on the category, but you'll see runners use Rend and spin attack interchangeably on combat. On Alchemy, we don't have those skills, so you won't be seeing that. Instead, we'll be seeing bombs. So there's a small glitch here that sometimes you won't move on to the next section. So most of the time they're going to be rolling up the stairs. Well, that's my strat anyways. I don't know how they do it, but they're going to be rolling up the stairs to trigger the cutscene, hopefully. And at this point, Puzzle is now ahead because he had to use bombs, so it's a little bit faster. But there is
This big fight is actually a good representation of the difference between the two routes, because the combat route is much more consistent because you have way more options to actually kill enemies, but you have to kill them one by one because it's a combat route. And the alchemy route, you can use bombs to clear the entire waves of enemies and one-shot them, but on the other hand, you have a limited amount of bombs, so if you screw up 1 or 2 shots, it's going to be really bad.
Yeah, so here we're coming up to the notorious Bruxa fight after this, so see if Boost can get it. Usually you want to art her while she screams, and then try to use a spin attack to kill her. It's really difficult. Usually you get her down to like a couple HP left. Looks like she didn't yell out, unfortunately, so Boost has to do some backup strats here to kind of kill her. You have to get her into her mortal form. If she's in her immortal form, you can't really hit her because she's going to teleport away. And you can use a moon dust bombs to get her back to her normal form. And then Puzzle just use bombs.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, it's very simple. But there's some other times where Boost can catch up.
So the big threat with the alchemy route is if you just miss a bomb or you throw it improperly in some of the fights, because you don't really have too many spare in some situations.
Yeah, most of the time you have at least one spare, but most of the time, sometimes you don't. So aiming a bomb at an enemy's feet actually does more damage than using the auto aim in the game. So you're going to be seeing that a lot more than using auto aim.
Interesting.
And looks like Boost is getting really bad RNG here on the Bruxa fight here.
And something to note with the bombs, as you can tell, me throwing them at the enemy's feet, there's another perk called cluster bombs. So the bombs are, so to say, like a shotgun pellet. Once the initial explosion hits, about 5 other pellets come out, and each of those pellets do their respective damage of 200%. So
Yeah,
you kind of have to be lucky where those pellets go.
you'll be seeing a very hard trick in the Hearts of Stone run where we kill a boss and skip the death animation. But we'll talk about that when we get there.
So each of those pellets does full damage, or do they do reduced?
Full.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's another perk of doing alchemy. So here, this is where the routes kind of diverge. Kinda. What I mean is if you played casually, you would know there's 2 ways to finish the game here. You can go into a fairy tale world, which is much slower, but a good marathon incentive. Or you can do the arena route here, which both the runners are going to do. And right now there's a big headphone warning. Alright, there we go. Got past that. So yeah, right now Boost is running through town, and then Puzzle's just going to use bombs to kill Alpha here. So he's just going to spam Northern Wind and a Grape Shot as well to freeze him, and then do more damage on him.
Can you warn me when Boost gets that? Oh, we don't
Yes,
have...
I will warn you with that, don't worry.
Just in case we have audio on him. I think I turned it down for Puzzle in time.
Yeah. We're past that point now, so you can turn it back up if you want.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, Puzzle gets killed Alpha there. Boost is going to be coming up to that in about a minute or 2. He's a little bit behind because he got the bad Bruxa, as we saw earlier. But Puzzle's going to head back to Arena, and he's going to end up killing her off. So we're going to be going to the Unseen Elder Cave, and he's going to lead us to Detloff, which is the final boss. So we're just trying to get Roach. We don't want Roach to block the door here. Luckily, Puzzle didn't get that. So yeah, so Boost is just going to go to Alpha.
Time to summon Regis.
And now Puzzle is done with the Arena section. He's going to go to talk to this tree here, and he's going to go back to Regis, and he's going to go across the lake and go to the Unseen Elder Cave. And yeah, that's really it. Oh, then headphone wedding on Boost is coming up to the section now.
This unseen elder, only that he takes unkindly to guests, especially the unannounced. Oh, joy. Got a plan. Some idea how to appease him. The custom when meeting.
Alright, all good. So you see Boost is going to be trying to use Ren Spam, because that will deal more damage on him. And usually you can kind of stun lock enemies, as you're seeing there, that they don't have enough time to hit you back, so you can just hit them over and over. And if you time your Ren spam correctly, you don't lose any stamina overall, so you can just continuously Ren spam forever if you have the right timing. It's a little bit finicky. But yeah, so Boost is done with that. He's gonna go to the arena, as we talked about earlier. And then Puzzle's just going across the lake. Not much to see here, but we're coming up to the Unseen Elder Cave. So the routes are pretty much the same. So you're going to see both runners unequip their swords. So what that does is, like in the cave, your swords are going to be taken away by the Unseen Elder. So it's to counteract that, we can just unequip our swords for the first section here. And then you're going to be seeing a fight skip here. Saying it a little bit prematurely, but Puzzles is coming up to the entrance to the cave here. So he's going to be using the stone that he got from Arena. If you follow in the lore here, he's going to be unequipping his swords, hopefully. I guess
I do not, because I use bombs. I do not care
true.
about swords.
Yeah, but you'd be seeing Boost unequipping his swords. But yeah, so we're going to jump up this rock here, and we're going to try to skip this fight here. Looks like he got that, so we're going to be first meeting the Unseen Elder. He's going to kind of knock you down and take your swords away. So there's going to be a couple seconds of just waiting for Geralt to get up so we can find a swallow potion to get back up.
And some lore on who the Unseen Elder is. The Unseen Elder you could think of as the boss of all the vampires. And we're trying to kill a vampire, Deadlaugh, but he is hiding, so we're trying to convince Deadlaugh's boss to go ahead and bring him out for us. But the Unseen Elder is very grumpy.
Yes, very. So we have to please him, we have to find a rock that symbolizes peace. And unfortunately, out of sheer coincidence, Regis doesn't have a rock, so that's why we end up going to the Unseen Elder Cave in the first place, because he doesn't have the rock to lend to us. So this looks like a puzzle is just coming out of that section. He's going to be doing a very precise jump to get on top of the waterfall early, and then Boostmaster's coming up to the first encounter with the Elder. So you're going to be seeing Puzzle jump up and try to grab, so to say, like an invisible ledge. And then he's going to be jumping again and trying to grab a ledge on the stairs, and he got it first try. Very nice. And I think that just skips going around the long way. I haven't played this game casually in a very long time. Yeah.
Seems like
But
there's
now
a
he's-
decent amount of skips in this that save like 10,
Yeah,
15 seconds.
They save. It's not like a glitch heavy game. That's really the only thing. But there's a good amount of skips that save like some time. So yeah, Puzzle, you saw there he used aura to get that rock down, and he used bombs to kill that enemy there, and now he's gonna grab the letter. He's gonna read the letter whenever it pops up. There we go. And now he's gonna examine that stone and grab that stone. And then Boost is just coming out of the first encounter with the Elder, and he's gonna be doing the same exact thing. But instead of using bombs to kill the fiend there and the vampire, he's gonna be using his sword.
And something to know about this cave, it's a very magical cave because everything's upside down, but at the same time everything's right side up. So it may look confusing, but that's because it is.
Yes, so every time you kind of jump in the water, the gravity gets flipped. That's kind of the premise of the section here. So if you see Boost, the gravity's going to get flipped there. He's going to be walking on the ceiling now. And then Puzzle's coming up to the second encounter with the Elder. So just some right dialogue options, and you can just get right through. But if you fail, if you do the wrong dialogue option, he's actually going to kill you. So you don't want that.
It's amusing to me that you're sent on a mission to find a stone that symbolizes peace, so then you just go kill someone and take the stone.
Yeah, basically. But that stone actually came from a dead body. We got to kill the fiend because he's protecting the stone. But and then we got the dead body there, and we just loot the stone off him. So yeah, we're coming off to the final boss fight here. It's name's Detlef. You can probably see in the top. So what Puzzle's gonna be doing here is he can skip the first phase, but he's gonna be doing as much damage as possible to get him past this first phase. And then at this point, if you're under leveled, you'll find out by dying. So he's
Which
at
I'm
so
not.
Puzzle's at a good level, so he won't die, hopefully. But now he's gonna Ard Detlef here to stop him from doing his bat attack, and then he's gonna deal some more sword blows here to kill him and get him into his third phase. And then Boostmasters is coming out. So the first two phases are probably going to be the same from Boostmaster and Puzzle. I don't know, do you use bombs in Alchemy for the last phase? Puzzle?
No, it's too slow. Each bomb does no damage to like the 3 critical points. So I just kind of swing my sword because no matter what, it'll do X like base damage, and that's all I care about.
Yeah. So this is where Alchemy loses time because the sword does less damage than in combat because you don't have those combat skills. So you'll be seeing Puzzle or Boostmasters gonna be doing less sword hits overall on the whole boss. And then Puzzle's just gonna hit these 3, I'll call them eggs. And you have to kill those 3 eggs to get the final boss or Detlef to get out of his, like, so to say, heart. I really don't know what this section is called, but
We got bit by Detlef, and now we're in some sort of a vampiric trance of some sort in our mind. I'm not too sure.
yeah, it's been way too long since we played casually.
It's a boss fight. That's what matters.
Yeah.
So
All
Puzzle's done with
creepy and
that.
eerie.
You'll be seeing Boostmaster after he's done with the unskippable cutscene here. He'll be using his spin attack, which is faster, to kill the 3 eggs. And then Puzzle just has to do one more hit here to kill the boss. And he's got the cinematic cutscene that we're going to skip. There we go. So that Puzzle's done with the final boss. So we still got a couple tasks left to do. And then if you look back on Boostmaster's side, he's going to be using a spin attack, as we said earlier. That's actually going to prevent Detlef from hitting you and stopping his spin attack. Oh, he's not going to be using the spin attack. Again, Boostmaster just learned this last week specifically for the hotfix, so he's not using the most current strats, which is alright.
Yeah, learning a new strat takes a lot of time, especially when you're used to bombs and now you have to use a sword. So definitely give a round of applause to Boostmaster for showcasing this just for hotfix. It's very, very, very nice of him and just awesome.
Yeah, muscle memory can be really strong when you're used to doing it one way and then trying to do it a different way.
Yeah, it's mostly me and a runner or two who does combat. Everyone else does alchemy because a lot consider it easier. But I'm just used to combat because I came before alchemy was invented. And Puzzle is actually the creator of most of the alchemy routes in this game, so kudos to him for that.
Yeah, using a controller, I was thinking, how could I kill something faster? Well, maybe I'll just throw a bomb. And hey, it works!
A bomb, or 2, or 4.
Yeah, so now the premise is the Duchess got killed by Detlef, then Detlef died. Sad. So we're gonna visit her at her grave, and then we're gonna do one more task for Regis, and that's gonna be the end. And then we agreed that if one runner finished before, we'd go play Gwent while we wait. So it looks like Puzzle's probably gonna go play some Gwent.
This moonlight makes me
So we're gonna equip a mask and some gloves here. So if you don't equip them when you grabbing these plants out of the ground, you can't move for like 10 seconds and you get poisoned. So having a mask and gloves on skips that. So yeah, I'm gonna grab both plants. He's gonna head back to the waypoint on the map, and then he's gonna head over to another fight here with Regis. So there's 3 Bruxers here. Thankfully, they can all be one-shot. So he's gonna be using Moon Dust here to get them into their mortal form, and then he's gonna help Regis here kill all 3 of them. It looks like he got them. And then time's gonna be coming up for Puzzle here, and that's time.
We have witnessed, and in fact on several occasions,
So he's just gonna let us watch the cinematic cutscene, which is nice. And then Boostmaster's pretty close behind He's going up to the
We deserve a bit
to
of
the
rest.
to where the Hannah Animated was laid to rest. He's been doing basically the same thing as I said, but he's been using his sword instead of bombs to kill the final 3 Bruxes at the end.
Actually, I'd love to go home.
Again, he's going to be equipping his mask and gloves. It's very necessary in this time of great need. So you might have saw there his menuing. If you paid attention, Bruce's menuing was a lot faster than Puzzle's because he's using a keyboard. There's a lot of hotkeys that you can press to get into certain menus, and Puzzle does not have that because you only have so many buttons on your controller. So he's just gonna kill all those Bruxes with sword hits, and time's coming up for him as well. And that's time now. It's actually a very competitive time.
Yeah,
That was a
close.
really close race.
That's pretty close
Yeah.
too.
If you take out the death that Boost had, that would have been very close as well.
Yes.
Puzzle is 14 seconds off his PP.
Oh wow,
Wow.
really?
Yeah, it's
Very
really
nice.
nice.
So just looking at the leaderboard, that's about like around 5th or 6th place. The times are really competitive as you get up the leaderboard as in any speed game, and we're trying to push for sub 42 at this point. So yeah, so that's it for Blood and Wine. I think we're going to be coming back with Hearts and Stone later on.
Yeah,
you have
don't
any-
go anywhere because Hearts of Stone will be coming.
You guys, Puzzle, you have
More
anything
Witcher
else to
3
say?
today.
All right, I guess Puzzle doesn't have anything to say, so yeah, we'll be.
Oh,
we'll be back
sorry.
shortly.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, thanks everyone for doing the run. Like they said, we have another DLC coming up, and then the 80% run after that. But we are going to take a quick break, get set up for that, play a few ads. As a quick reminder, Hotfix is funded in part thanks to your subscriptions and bits. So we'd appreciate it if you consider subscribing or throwing that Twitch Prime in our direction if you have it available. But we'll be back in just a few minutes with the next run. Welcome back, everyone, to the Community Spotlight. We just finished up our first run of The Witcher 3 with the Blood and Wine DLC, and now we're moving on to Hearts of Stone, which was the older DLC. So we're on the middle part of our backwards progression through time on The Witcher 3. We still have Knick-Knack and Kodzik here to help us with commentary. We had a few tech issues with Kurelmo, so sadly not going to be able to hear Kurelmo talking during this run. So we're just going to have Knick-Knack and Kodzik talking to us through this one. Just as a quick reminder, the Community Spotlight features games that are suggested by viewers. So if you have a game you would like to see on this show, you can type in !spotlight in chat, or go to gamesdonecquick.com/hotfix/spotlight-form and let us know games that you'd like to see on this show. But now that we've got those announcements out of the way, you mentioned that this one is a bit different in terms of alchemy versus swords. Which one are we going to be seeing in this one?
So we're going to be seeing alchemy here. So there's a good 30-second to 45-second difference between combat and alchemy. That's more due to RNG and just like bad bosses that you can't really kill very quickly at the combat, but you can with alchemy. So you're going to be seeing that. And there's also some differences in the world. This takes place in the main game world, as opposed to in Blood and Wine that took place in Novigrad, or not Novigrad, Tulisant. That was all separate. But yeah, that's really it. So yeah, right now we're going to be seeing Hearts of Stone. We'll be going over the 90% after this. So if there's anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just want to point out, because Chad is asking about this, we're going to run Hearts of Stone DLC right now, and after the Hearts of Stone DLC, we're going to run the any % old patch for the main game.
Yeah, this was just sort of the lineup that worked out well, and it's I think it'll be a good show for everybody, but it seems like Kurelmo is ready. Is there anything else you think is important to cover before we get started?
Oh, we can
repeat the thing about the auto hotkey that we use.
Yes.
Because someone maybe has tuned in right now. In order to skip cutscenes, normally you would have to mash buttons heavily. And we don't like mashing buttons heavily because it damages our hands. So instead we use auto hotkey. Instead of mashing, we just hold one key that does the mashing for us. We promote healthy speedrunning because, we want to enjoy the runs, and what's a better way to enjoy runs than not having damaged hands?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So
All right then. I have to give Kuromo a countdown, so I'm gonna count down and type it to him at the same time. So countdown starting. 3, 2, 1, go.
all right, so the first thing you're going to be seeing is once he gets into the game, you're going to be seeing turning him off tutorials, as we explained before in Blood and Wine. We have to turn off tutorials because they are on.
He cannot hear you, I think.
Yeah, I typed it for him, but he might not have noticed.
Oh, looks like he's going for it. There we go.
Okay, there we go.
So yeah, you're going to be seeing him turn off tutorials as in Blood and Wine because they turn on from the main menu. Even though we have them off in the main menu, they turn on when we start a DLC. So that's kind of annoying, but. And then you'll be seeing him do a skill point setup here with the skill points he has. Again, we're going to be running alchemy, so you can be him dumping points into bombs and all that. So just some note with the skill points, we're going to be getting heavy artillery, so that's going to be 200% damage per bomb. And then we're going to be doing the cluster bombs again, and that just has the pellets that come out when you throw a bomb. That's what you kind of explained in Blood and Wine.
One addition that this run has over the Blood and Wine is that we also add some points to the Axie sign, because it helps with some dialogues in order to make sure that NPCs react to the way we want them to.
Yeah, so right now you're going to just be seeing a small trick here. Hopefully, usually Rich will stop in this archway. We're going to try to not have that happen. Fortunately, he didn't get it. But now there's a small little cutscene here.
Wanted.
You examine the notice board. The game tells you, oh, you have to get this contract, and yeah, so we got the contract. So now we're going to be heading over to where we have to go for the contract. So we're going to be teleporting to the signpost, and we're going to hope that Roach has a good spawn. Unfortunately, he did not have a good spawn. Oh wait, he did have a good spawn. Okay, what am I saying? But yeah, so he's going to be riding over to the house where we have to go for the contract.
And as Nick mentioned at the beginning of the this category, the theme for the Hearts of Stone DLC is based on the actual map of The Witcher 3 on the north side of Novigrad and Velen map.
Yes. So you saw him skip that barrier there. You don't have to fight him. There's a lot of random encounters that we just don't have to do. And since we're here, we can mention the language difference. So it's been found out recently that if you play in Polish, you can skip a good 20 seconds of cutscenes and just some dialogue. Looks like he's not playing on Polish.
Not
here.
all languages have been timed, because I think Boostmaster was the one doing the timing, and he didn't time the Japanese dialogues. And Japanese dialogues are actually the fastest in the main game, so maybe they are in this one as well. We have to find it out.
No, maybe he's playing in Polish, but I guess don't have the game audio. He does have English subtitles on, so. So yeah, now he's gonna be running. He's gonna hopping Roach. Just riding over to the signpost that he discovered earlier.
It's hard
And
to
now
say.
he's coming.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, now he's gonna be coming up to the dungeon here where he has to fight a bunch of drowners, and it's kind of annoying. Thankfully, if we can group all of them up at once, we can kill them all pretty easily with bombs. So he's gonna be rolling out of the signpost here, and we have some RNG here. So the time that you come out of signpost kind of varies between like 2 hours and like 4 hours of game time. So for some dialogue skips coming up, we want the time to be before 8 o'clock at night. So the first thing we'll talk about that later. But the first thing you're gonna be seeing here, you just saw he threw a bomb there to kill that drowner. We got a cutscene here, and he's gonna meditate and then immediately break the wall to get through. Do a very quick meditation here. You got it pretty well. So we got another small cutscene here, and now we have 7 drowners that we have to kill. And as I said before, we have to group them all at once and try to kill them with bombs. We have 4 bombs, but we only want to use 3 to get a skip. So he's gonna try rolling over and trying to manipulate these drowners, get them all in one spot, kill them all with 1 bomb. It's much harder than it seems.
Is that the same thing as in Bloods and Wine, where he canceled the meditation really quick to stop the animation?
Yeah, we use that a lot in just rent in general. But that one's a little bit more useful because you can use when you cancel meditation, you can use R to break that wall as well at the same time. Small time save right there. So yep, he killed those drowners. He's gonna head over to the door. So we have a skill point that allows us to deal damage with bombs that normally don't deal damage. So that's what he's doing there. He's moving the wind to freeze them, and that dealt a little bit of damage. And he's just gonna finish him off with the sword.
Drowners everywhere.
How similar of
up
a
to-
skill point setup is this to the
It's
Bloods and Wine?
pretty similar. I'm not too sure if it's exactly the same or not, but it's very similar.
I think it's
So,
exactly
yeah.
the same, plus the Axie sign as I mentioned at the beginning.
Yes, so we're going to be using that at a certain point in the run. But now we have this boss here. We're going to be just throwing Northern Winds and Grape Shots, just deplete his health really quickly.
Lads and gents, the alchemy route.
Yes, and then we just got a cutscene here. Another moving spoon. Nothing special about this one. So here there's an optional fight here that we don't have to do at all. So we're going to be rolling away, and we're going to be calling Roach to ride away, and we're hoping for a good Roach spawn. It doesn't always happen. You might see us get bad RNG here with Roach. He's going to get on top of this hill, turn around, and call Roach. Ooh, it looks like you got the best RNG you could. So that's very nice. Now he's going to ride over. So in this game, if you're riding Roach and you get to the edge of the map, it'll actually put you in the map screen, and if you probably didn't know this, but you could actually teleport from that map screen if you're riding on at the edge of the map. So we're going to be teleporting back to the house here to talk to we're going to be talking to Old Grid again about the contract, and he's going to give us 3 tasks that we have to do. Those 3 tasks are what we're going to be doing for the rest of the run. I should say this run is considerably shorter than Blood and Wine at about, I don't know what the estimate is, 40 minutes. So that's pretty close.
The estimate for Blood and Wine was like 15 minutes, so it's
yeah.
a 10 minute shorter estimate.
This is the shortest category that's played. There is a shorter category, but it's not really played that often, so we don't include it. So now you're going to be seeing me getting through this dialogue here, and now he's going to head back over to Oxenford here. He's just teleporting on the map. And what he's going to do here is he's going to go over to the auction house. And again, I got RNG here with the time, what time you come out of meditation. So after the next meditation, you want to be before 8 p.m. And that if you're after 8 p.m. and there's a guy that you have to talk to, that he won't spawn. So you have to meditate to the next day. About like a 5-second time waste there if you don't get it. He's gonna talk to these guys in the auction house. So do a little skip here. He's gonna jump on top of the railing just to trigger the cutscene early. And then we got another one of these annoying fist fights as we were mentioned in Blood and Wine.
Yeah, fist fights in general are not so great in The Witcher, for speedrunners at least, because even though you are a trained Witcher, every single person can block your attacks, and that's annoying if it happens a lot in a row.
So that was actually a pretty good fist fight right there. So the premise is you want to at least get one of the guys down, because if you don't kill one of the guys immediately, then what's going to happen is when you hit the first guy, the second guy is going to come up behind you and hit you as well and stun you, and that just repeats until you kill one of those guys. So kind of annoying. So right now we're going to head over to the hut. We're going to talk to a guy here. So we're going to be doing a prison heist. Right, sorry, an auction heist. I'm getting vibes from the main game here. Yeah, so we're going to be doing an auction heist. And so we're basically going to be looting some stuff from the auction house. That's really it. That's what I can say. But the first thing we're going to be doing here is we're going to throw a bomb to kill. There's 3 guards here in front of the door. We're going to aim at the door and use that bomb to... Looks like he's having a little bit of trouble here, but we're going to be using that bomb to kill all 3 guards. So he's going to be aiming at the bottom of the door frame here.
Let's dance.
And it looks like he got all 3 of them. So we're going to head into a shop here. We're going to buy some Wolfsbane. That's going to be used to craft a potion that we're going to be needing. And then now we're going to be talking to the guy who's going to be planning our heist. So he's got a couple cutscenes here. Nothing special.
Yeah, someone in chat was asking about our level since we're 8 minutes in, 9 minutes in now, and we're like level 33. We mentioned this
Yes.
earlier at the start of the show. It's just if you start a new game and you start it in the DLC, the game kind of gives you a preset starting point so that you're not super underleveled.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not supposed to start a DLC before ending the main game or playing the main game. But what you can do is just start the DLC from the save pre-made by the developers. So, and that's why we have so high level. If you have any more questions, you can feel free to ask them in the chat. We have the chat open.
Yeah, so you saw him there. He brewed a potion, so I can't see the time because it's blurry on my screen, but I think it's past 8 o'clock.
It's
So
8:30.
yeah, so he looks like he might have to meditate. So what he's doing here is he's using the Witcher senses and he's releasing it on a specific time to skip some dialogue here. So you'll be seeing that, and that saves about 10 seconds. And then if you have Polish or Japanese, as we were saying earlier, it saves another 10 seconds because dialogue is a little bit faster. So we have to do this 3 times. We just did the one. We're doing the second one now. And we have to find a cook here who's going to help us with the auction heist. So we have to listen to those guys to try to find out where the cook might be. And we've got the last guys coming up here, and we tried the sequence break this. It's not possible. It's kind of annoying that we have to do this. But I guess seeing in the chat, this is glitchless. This is not glitchless. We don't have a glitchless category. We don't think we need one. So this is going to be...
There are not that many glitches overall in the game, so we don't need a
Yeah.
glitches category in our opinion.
There's a few, but they're pretty small. And they get some small time saves. And there's a couple big ones. You'll see in any percent old patch. We won't spoil it. We'll make it to that.
We won't, but you should wait for the old patch.
Yes, you should.
I'm
wait.
just gonna say.
It's a very interesting run. So it looks like he might have to meditate here. Or he might not, I'm not too sure. It looks like he just spawned. I think it's actually 9 o'clock and not 8 o'clock, so that's good for him. So yeah, so if it's past 9 o'clock, the cooked bear won't spawn, so we have to meditate to the next day, and that takes like 5 to 10 seconds, depending on how fast you can meditate. Now that we're done with that, so this is another part. We're gonna go revive some dead spirits. But what we're doing here is, so we're gonna be doing this later, but the start of the quest is like right in front of where the cook is, so it's just faster to just go and start that quest now. But we're gonna continue on with the auction heist coming up. So we're gonna be heading into the signpost here and teleport into Honeyfield Meatworks. So he has some good menuing there, contrary to myself, which I don't have good menuing, but so we're gonna call Roach spot on a decent spot, so thankful for that. And then we're gonna ride off, and then this is where we use Axie. So there's 4 dialogue options here, and the first 3, if you choose one of those, you have to fight a guy. But if we have the Axie power here, we can just avoid fighting this guy, and that saves probably 30 seconds of just a fight here. So he's gonna dismount Roach before the fade out cutscene and dismount cutscene. Sorry, my brother there is coming into my room. Anyway, so we have that. So he skipped that fight there. We're gonna hop on Roach. And then we're gonna head over to the inactive quest marker and then recruit the last member for our hunt. And then thankfully we start with, I think, 20,000 crowns when we start a DLC for the main menu. So we can, instead of having to recruit some more members, we can just buy Shani or buy whoever is over there out, instead of having to perform and recruit more members. So you're just seeing that. Coming up to it right now.
The minute we're in.
So there we go. You got the red dialogue there. Anyway, so now he's done with that. Now we're going to be starting the heist. Pretty simple at this point. All you got to do is go to the quest marker, throw a few bombs, and then zippity zap, you're done.
Is the zippity zap part important?
Clear for
No.
now.
It's not.
No, you should say it's really important. What did you
So yeah, you saw we threw a bomb there. Since we have heavy artillery, each bomb does 200% more damage, so we can just finish all those guys off with one bomb, and then these guys as well, we can finish off with one bomb. And then we just gotta wait for the door to open.
Satisfied?
I like how we're in a wooden house throwing bombs. Like, seems like a
Yes.
really bad idea.
It does seem like a bad idea, but
I
thankfully
mean,
the
those
house
those houses are really solid. Nothing
In the
broke,
meantime,
so it's fine.
Yeah, and just again, we're playing on Just a Story, which is easier difficulty. I see some people in chat asking that. So, and then this one, again, you gotta use a bomb. Pretty simple, one hit kill. There we go. And as we mentioned in Blood and Wine, we're going to be aiming mostly at the enemy's feet instead of using the auto aim that the game has, and that just deals more damage than just aiming at the guys with auto aim. So that's why you see Camarlo here doing manual aim instead of auto aim. And we're just going to be running through the tunnel, and then hitting a lever at the end to open the gate, and that's the end of this section. Well, ladders in this game are pretty finicky. So now that we're done with the auction heist, we're going to head over to a crypt here. We're going to fight some wraiths. In this part of the game, we're going to be fighting some wraiths. We're going to relive some dead spirits here from the dead, and then we're going to be going to a wedding and just doing some stuff around there. So there's a small glitch here that can happen, and when you come out of the signpost is you can't call Roach. It's kind of annoying, but you can just pretty easily remedy that by punching with your fist, and then you can call Roach again. And thankfully Roach got a decent spawn for us, so good for him. And at this point we're just going to be running through the forest. We're going to be using the pass at some point to regen some stamina. As you probably play casually, you know that if you just hold shift down, it will attach Roach to the path. He'll regen some stamina, so we're going to be doing that in certain places. And we're not going to go directly towards the quest marker for the first time, because we have to go around a house. Again, as we said in Blood and Wine, we'll reiterate this more, but Roach is very annoying. He likes to stop on everything. You might see it right now. He will stop on every little thing. Even if it looks like the gap is wide enough for Roach to pass through 2 trees, he will not pass through 2 trees and you'll just stop. It's very, very annoying how he works, but there's nothing we can do to change that.
Yeah,
So,
the thing with Roach is that her hitbox is a little bit finicky. You know the deal. We manage.
The tone was spot on.
We know how she works,
This
yeah.
is impressive.
Yeah.
So what you're going to be
Too bad
seeing
it's
here
falling
is,
apart.
yeah, so you did
Families
meditate.
on hard times.
This is
So right there you could do a door boost that like propels you forward a lot, but he didn't do it there. It's not that hard to do, but he just decided to not do it there. For safety. Just there. Here there's 4 wraiths that spawn in random locations. He's going to be using bombs to clear all of them out. You got the 3rd one, and he's got this last one here. And there we go, she got it. Oh, and one more. The wraith decided to come back to haunt him. So he's going to be using Northern Wind as, again, it deals some damage, and he's going to try to use his sword. This is another RNG section. Ideally, you want all 4 wraiths to spawn in the same spot, so you can only use 2 bombs to kill all 4 of them, but that doesn't always happen.
We shouldn't touch around.
But he didn't get good RNG there, which is alright. It's a marathon run, so, or a hotfix run, whatever you want to call it. But he inspected the ruins there on top, and now he got this sensor here, and he has to spread the ashes of people throughout these ruins. So he's going to try to be doing this as optimally as possible.
Rise from the dust.
So you mentioned a door boost there. What is a door boost? Like, how do you get it to give you speed?
So, yeah, he didn't do it there, but I'll talk about it. You might see, because you do it later on in his run. But if you jump in the door frame, it really depends on where you jump in the door frame, but it'll like propel your out forward a little bit. doesn't really save that much time. Like saves a second or two when you do it. There's not that many uses,
Time to light the voting
but there's a lot more uses in old patch or
Just
current patch.
smashing his head on the geometry just sort of pushes him forward a little
just
bit.
propels him forward.
So is that one
might
of the
see.
things where it depends on the doorway in particular if it works or not?
Yeah, it depends on the doorway. It doesn't work on every single doorway, unfortunately, but some of them it does, and you'll see that. It's not really used that much in old patch, but in current patches, I use it a lot personally to just propel you forward and save a couple seconds every time I do it. So
In the old
So we-
patch, you don't need that much speed, but you're gonna see why.
yes, so we kind of glossed over that small fight there. So we use bombs to just clear all the enemies out. Not much to say about that.
Keep your paws off her.
And I'm just looking at chat. Someone's asking, can you be damaged by your own bombs? No, you can't, because we have a certain skill that does not allow for that. Thankfully, because if we got damaged by our own bombs, we'd probably die immediately. That would not be a good thing.
Would you normally be damaged by your bombs if you didn't have that skill?
Yes, normally you would be damaged by your bombs if
Okay.
you didn't have that skill. But thankfully we do have that skill. We don't get damaged by bombs, so it's very nice. So now we're going to be riding over to the wedding. So the gimmick in this section here is we have to do a certain amount of tasks to advance the timer forward to I think 12 p.m. at night or 1 a.m. and we can't meditate. So don't think we can skip this whole section by meditating because we can't. So we're going to be doing a certain amount of tasks in a certain order to skip all of that, or not skip all of that, just to make it more optimal.
Yeah, we are picking the tasks that are the longest ones, and by that we mean the ones that advance the clock to further.
Yes. So first thing you're going to be seeing here is we're going to enter this pig pen, and you're supposed to fight these pigs and get them back in the pen. We're not going to be doing that. We're just going to hop over the fence. It's going to ask us if we want to fight them again, and we're like, no, we don't want to. So instead we have to fight some guys here, but it is in fact faster than running the pigs in the pen because it's they're kind of finicky. So you'll see him try to dodge right after he does his last attack to skip a death animation, or a final blow animation, whatever you want to call it. Looks like he got the second one and the third one, so that's very nice.
Yeah, you technically can disable them in the menu, but the disabling doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. So that's the first task done. The time advanced like an hour or two. Now we have to grab a boot from the water, so he's gonna be doing that. You might see him turn around very quickly. He kind of got it there, but not really. And then he's gonna talk to Shiny here from within the water to save a couple seconds. So another gimmick in this section here is there's a ghost that is kind of inhabiting Geralt's spirit. In certain places, he's controlling Geralt, like controlling what he says and stuff like that. So if you see a blue arrow or blue text, that means that ghost is in Geralt's soul and he's talking for him. And if you see white text, that's just Geralt normally talking.
Don't let it bother you.
It's kind of another gimmick in this section here. So this is where a game crash could happen. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Looks like we're good. So we don't know why that game crashes there, but if you talk to the guy on the left, usually the game will crash. And we don't know why, can't figure out why, but
I think
By the way,
Just-
we played Gwent.
following some dark
That's important.
trail,
yes, we did play Gwent.
exactly how I imagined this went.
We lost, but
I
yeah.
think I'll wait here.
We surrendered
Fine.
immediately, but for everyone that complained that we don't play Gwent in speedruns, there you go.
Yes. Yeah, and just going back to the crash there, if you talk to the guy on the right, 95% of the time it won't crash, so good for that. But it's kind of annoying because every time I have a record pace run, I always crash there. I'm sure it's the same for other runners, so.
Keep calm, stay close.
Somehow I
So
don't
now-
think that's what people meant when they want you to play Gwent.
Yeah.
You have to be more specific next time, I guess.
So now we have to rescue a fire staller. We're going to use bombs here to kill this boy.
Cox
Pretty simple stuff, and we're going to get teleported back to the wedding. And then at this point, we are done with the wedding. Just got a cutscene or two to finish up, and we're going to be done. So we just got this cutscene here, and then so we're gonna go talk to Orgrid again, and he's gonna give us our final task to do. So what we have to do is go to an abandoned house, and the quest is called "Scenes from a Marriage," and you might understand why if you play casually, but basically it's gonna teleport Geralt to certain scenes in the past, and we have to fill in the scenes with certain objects. You'll know what I mean when we get there. Obviously, we can do it pretty fast. We know what objects to get and all that.
Yeah, if you know how to arrange the scene, it's easy. Basically, we reconstruct her memories because they are some kind of lost. We don't want to dive into the plot of the game too much because the DLCs and the game overall, it's heavily plot favored. So just watch it for the gameplay and for speed strats. Play it for the plot, now or later.
Yes. And yeah, the DLCs are really quick. It's pretty hard to explain the plot because there's a lot of tricks to talk about. But in the main game, we'll have time to explain the plot a little bit. So it's only a 2 hour and 15-minute run anyway. So
Only 2 hours, yeah.
yeah.
Which is significantly shorter than what a lot of people would expect for that game.
Well, it depends. There's 2 categories. There's a we'll talk about this more later. But there's a old patch and a current patch category. Old patch has a big glitch that saves a lot of time, but you have to play it in version 1.06, so there's a lot of smaller glitches that are kind of annoying. And then you have current patch, which is played on the current version, which is either 1.31 Game of the Year or 1.32, depending on what version of the game you have. So yeah, so now we have the Caretaker fight. I was talking to Kamaru earlier. There's a glitch here called Caretaker Death Skip, so you can skip the death animation, which is about 15 seconds long. He said he wasn't going to go for it, but we'll see if he actually does go for it. He might have changed his mind. So by throwing bombs in a certain order and in a certain position, you can skip the death animation here. So it looks like he's not going to be going for it. So the fun story with that, I was doing my HTTP submissions, and I actually got it for the first time there. So, oh, whoa, he actually got it there. That is very surprising. That trick was found very recently, and it's a very finicky trick. It usually doesn't work, even if you have it set up correctly. So, very nice on him for doing that.
Is that one of those things where he wasn't going for the usual setup, but it just happened to work out that way anyway?
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't going for the usual setup. It was a much faster setup that usually goes for times.
Interesting.
So yeah, so we have the Wraith in the painting here next as the next mini boss. This fight's kind of annoying casually, but if you time your bombs correctly, you can kill her without having her to go in the paintings. So there's one bomb there, got her to half health. Unfortunately, he missed the second bomb, so now the Wraith is going to be going in the painting to regen health, so thankfully we can just attack the painting and that'll get her out of the painting. Looks like he's having some bad luck here killing her. So I think he's going to try using his swords because he's out of bombs at this point. If you played casually, you know how annoying this fight is. And that trick is very hard to get. Not as hard as CDS. Caretaker Death Skip, but it's still pretty hard.
I was just about to ask and then you explained it.
Yeah. So this is where a lot of runs die at the end, because we have 2 hard mini bosses, and then we had a pretty hard final boss as well. So now we're coming up, as I said earlier, we're coming up to the area where we go back in the past and fill in some scenes with some items. So you'll be seeing that. We're gonna go down to her grave here, and just examining her grave, and then we're gonna be teleported back to the past. So you have some dogs and cats narrating. Kind of weird, but that's just how this is. It's a weird house. So this is the first this is the first scene right here. So this one's pretty easy. We just have to grab a cup and place it in Olgir's hand. And you saw him meditate there just to regen bombs, because there's a couple enemies here we had to kill. So we got the big one. That's nice. So if you don't kill the big one, he'll continuously spawn some smaller ones. So you want to kill the big one as fast as possible. And that's a lot harder on combat than it is on alchemy. So yeah, differences in combat and alchemy is that some bosses at the end are harder to kill. Some of them are easier. Just depends. And RNG as well. So we have another little small boss here. Pretty quick with the bomb. So now we're gonna head up to. We're gonna examine a bloody tower on the floor.
Bloodstains.
We're gonna go place it in his hand in the vanity there. Now we're gonna go into the painting room. We're gonna pick up a fruit basket and an apple. Now we're gonna go place it on the table. Some precise dialogue here. So there we go. Got another mini boss fight here. Again, this one's pretty easy. There's a couple enemies that spawn here. You're gonna try to finish them off with bombs. And there we go. He's done with that. Then we got another sequence break here. So we're gonna examine this pattern on the floor, or he's not gonna be doing that. There we go. He does it now. So we're gonna grab the chalk here and the candle at the same time, and hopefully skip some dialogue. And there we go. He got that. So now he's gonna go into the winter wonderland that is this house. So he's gonna meditate here to regen bombs. Then he might be doing something else. He might be meditating later for the final boss. But what he's gonna do here, there's a couple things on the ground he's gotta place in their hands. That the main thing with what he's gonna do here is gonna throw a bomb. There's a couple enemies that appear here once you place these stuff in their hands. So he's gonna be throwing a bomb to kill all three of them at once. He got all three of them at once. That's great. And then now he's going to be going back into the dining room, and he's going to be again grabbing some stuff, putting them in the right spots. You're going to be grabbing this stuff in a certain order, so he doesn't have to scroll the menu.
Small bowl for soup, maybe. Perfect match. Think this was yours. There we go.
And now we are coming up to the final boss, which is a very annoying fight.
What's there?
Again, you have the two mini bosses at the beginning of this section here, and then you got this final boss fight, which is annoying. Because sometimes this boss can corner you, and you will die because he cornered you and you can't escape. So he's gonna be using bombs to try and kill all these figures here. That he wants them to all group up like that, and he's gonna try to throw it down. Okay, he missed that one. He has one more bomb left, so he should get it now. There we go. And that's that. And so we're not done quite yet. We got one more thing to do. We gotta go talk to Orgrid again, and then we gotta go meet him at a cave. So we're gonna be hopping onto the statue here just to get over the wall. Just a quicker way to get back to the signpost and teleport. Unfortunately, he fell there.
Oh, the invisible wall.
Yes, I was gonna say that. There's an invisible wall there. You gotta get over it. You might have saw that he gets rolled on top of the invisible wall.
Yeah, first try.
First try everything, yeah. So yeah, he's gonna just head back to Olgrid, talk to him, and then he's gonna be heading off to parts of Velen into a cave, and there's a big skip coming up. It skips a good couple minutes. So we're gonna be using Roach again, sadly. He is the fastest way to travel in every category, except one category. We won't spoil it.
All except one. The
Yes,
best.
all except one. The
Change
best
my
category. So yeah, just scroll on the map there. Knowing where to click on the mini-map on the bottom right is very helpful, because you can just click right there and just click immediately to the signpost. Saves like a second or two. Just scroll on the map. You can also hit tab if the objective is right on top, right next to a signpost. You can just hit tab. It'll just teleport the map to the objective, and you just hit the signpost and teleport there. So, yeah, we're just riding Roach over to the last skip, and we might as well talk about it now. So, usually you're supposed to go into like small another fantasy world with Olgrid and just rescue and kill stuff, but we're gonna be skipping that. So we'll see. He's probably gonna be playing it safer, but there's two straps. There's a very safe one and there's a very risky one, but the risky one looks much better than the safe one. But again,
I think he's gonna do the safe one.
Yeah, he's gonna be doing the safe one probably. So you're just gonna hop down this cliff here. It looks like you're gonna die, but you're not. So. Oh, he's actually going for the risky one. Oh, no, he's not.
Okay.
No, he's not.
Never mind then.
He's doing the safe bet. So yeah, get ready on Time. And time. So, good for him. But we might as well explain the risky strat there. So if you jump off a rock, most of the time, if you jump off that rock, you will end up fading into the cutscene. That'll just mitigate the fall damage, but sometimes you won't. So
Yeah,
if
the
you jump off
cutscene trigger is in the circle on the temple right there. And if you jump into it, even if it's from a high distance, you will trigger the cutscene and you won't get the fall damage. But sometimes you fall in a weird way and you die just like that.
All right, well, he's back now. Do you have any final words? That was a pretty good run.
34-21. Yeah, that was pretty decent actually.
Yeah,
I did
and
make-
you did get Caretaker Death Skip, which is insane.
Yeah, but like I got Caretaker that skipped and lost all the time I saved on the Wraith fight. That was an awful Iris fight.
Yeah,
I
that's a pretty competitive time right there. I don't know what your PB is, but it's probably pretty close to that.
I got it this morning actually. 33.
33:52 actually. I'm just looking at the leaderboard. So good for you. That's only 30 seconds off. So yeah, does anyone else want to say anything before we go to the next run?
Yeah, do you have any shoutouts,
Yeah,
Kuroma?
I guess not. Well, yeah.
Okay,
we'll
so
see.
stay tuned because the old patch is coming up. Any percent main game. Make sure to check this out.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks again, Kromo. I think there's some technical issues happening because I see his microphone lighting up, but we're not hearing it. So, thanks again, Kromo. Sorry that we've been having so much problems with your microphone today. Yep, there it is. It seems like Discord's just lagging for him a little bit. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll go on for a few minutes, play a few ads. As a quick reminder, Hotfix is funded in part thanks to your subscriptions and bits, so we'd appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. Use that Twitch Prime if you have it. But otherwise, we'll be back with the any percent old patch in just a few minutes. All right, everyone, welcome back to the Community Spotlight here on GDQ Hotfix. We just finished up our second of the DLC runs, so now we're going to close up the night with an any percent run here by Kodzik, who's going to be running Old Patch, which we're not going to spoil it, but there's one big thing that you'll notice pretty soon into the run as to why Old Patch is being speedrun today. But just as a quick reminder, the Spotlight does accept submissions on game ideas that you would like to see on the show, because this show is all about showcasing different communities, and we're definitely open to hearing about games that we're not, familiar with. So if you go to !spotlight in chat, if you type that in, there's a form that's linked there where you can suggest a game that you'd like to see on this show. If you're watching on YouTube, of course you can find that at gamesdonequick.com/hotfix/spotlight-form. And once again, we have quite a few shows that are games that are suggested through that form. So if you have something you'd like to see, don't be shy. Go ahead and let us know. But other than that, hello, Kodzik. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. This is gonna be the creme de la creme of this run, of this hotfix. The main course, the main dish. Not only, in my humble opinion, the best category of this game, but the best category in the history of history.
Yeah, we had the appetizers of the DLC runs. Now we've got the main course, as you put it.
Yeah. As you see, I'm running the old patch. It's 1.06. Because there's, as we've spoiled a couple of times already, one big glitch. I'm actually going to need some audience participation in there too, so make sure to watch this out. Yeah, because this is gonna be very important, and it's gonna be in first 8 minutes of the run, so you don't need to go anywhere. Otherwise, you're gonna miss it. Other than that, 2 notes. One, if you want to run the old patch, there are a couple of ways you can actually do it. I'm planning to do a guide. I wanted to do it before the hotfix, but I didn't manage to do so. But I will eventually. Trust me. You can download the old patch through Steam. There is a guide on our speedrun.com site. You can watch it at speedrun.com/Witcher3 something. Hopefully there's going to be a link in the chat in a couple of seconds. We also have a Discord, so if you have any questions, you can ask them. You can downgrade the game either by the Steam version, there is a guide for that, or by having a retail version. just installing it from the disk and then applying patches that are on the resources page on our speedrun.com site. And the second thing is we use AutoHotkey. I think I've turned it on correctly. So if you see in the top left corner on my game right now, there is the auto subtitle. And every time I use AutoHotkey, I basically skip dialogues because, as we've mentioned in the 2 previous runs already, there is a lot of dialogues in this game, and mashing through them for a couple of hours would be quite a hefty task. So instead, we use AutoHotkey. There is a script that instead of us mashing, we need to only hold the key and it does the mashing for us because we like our hands to be healthy and safe after every single run we do.
Yeah, he's done ESA runs before. He knows how to commentate on the game. I'm going to be sitting on the backseat for this one. If I have anything to add, I'll chime in. But he's going to probably be the main commentator for the run. And we also have a Puzzle here if he wants to introduce himself. He did the Blood and Wine race earlier. He's also be sitting on the backseat and commentate.
Hello, everyone. Yep, this Puzzle here. I'm gonna let Kadzik speak for most of this run because he is well versed in it. But if anything comes up, I'll be more than happy to chime up and answer or explain something that might be missed.
Yes, I'm gonna talk a lot, so be prepared for that.
Yes, I was warned when we were doing setup that it was going to be mostly Kadzik talking and not much else. But
yeah, there's a lot of stuff to explain, especially at the beginning. But there's some downtime, like in the middle and the end. So
yeah, if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to ask them. I'm doing the talk, but I can also answer the questions, and the other guys in the voice chat as well. So I think I've wasted enough time already. We can start the run.
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. And as we're starting, you're gonna see exactly what I was talking about with the AutoHotkey. I'm skipped. Here I'm doing 2 punches to go into the combat mode, because into the combat mode you can roll, and that is the fastest way of movement if you cannot run. And if you didn't use the glitch earlier, never mind. We're gonna skip some tutorials because it's the beginning of the game. This is the main story, so you're gonna see exactly what I say, main story. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna show off how amazing of a Witcher Geralt is, because we have to fight some ghouls with Vesemir here. We're gonna help him by escaping and running away, because we believe that he's better on fighting with ghouls than us. And as you can see in the top right corner, the objective is updated. We've killed the ghouls. Good job for us. We actually even got EXP for that. As you can see, we are so good witches. That is such a good game. So yeah, I've talked about the AutoHotkey. The one thing I also want to mention is that many people, when they see Witcher 3 speedruns, especially the Any%, the main game, they talk, oh, you shouldn't speedrun Witcher 3 because it's a really good game with many side things you can do. And yeah, that's true. We love it. We've played the games for hundreds of hours. But speedrun is lore correct. Why? Geralt hears that Ciri is in danger. What does he do? He either plays Gwent with every single citizen in the entire world, or actually goes to find her as soon as possible. He does the latter. So speedrun is store-wise correct. And it's an argument that you cannot beat at all. You didn't probably see it as well, but I'm playing on the Japanese version of the game, the Japanese dialogues. I've mentioned it during the Hearts of Stone run, but the Japanese dialogues are actually faster in the game by astounding 4 seconds. I've timed it. I spent 2 days solely to time every single version of the game, and the Japanese is faster by 4 seconds. It's not much, but I've spent so much time to time it that I'm willing to take the time save.
Yeah, we can touch on categories and all of that later, but people asking about the difficulty, as in most Witcher 3 speedruns where you are playing on just the story, which is the easiest difficulty. There are some other categories that have different difficulties, but we can talk about that later during some downtime, so...
Yeah, now we are going to the Nilfgaardian garrison, because we need to find Yennefer first in order to find Ciri. There is going to be a griffin fight, because it was advertised very well when The Witcher 3 was coming out, like the big griffin fight. There were like statues of the Geralt fighting griffin and figurines you could buy, and it's a really good fight. You're going to see it in a moment, but we have to prepare for that first. We have to collect Buckthorn, because it's essentially a way to bait the Griffin. We also have to ask for some information about the Griffin from the Nilfgaardian garrison commander, and we're gonna do just that. Roach, can I mount you? Okay, thank you. Roach is annoying, but fortunately, you won't see her that much as you've seen in the two previous runs. Also, I'm going a little bit off the road because I'm picking up the skill points in the place of power over here. The previous two runs of DLC started on a preset save that was delivered by the developers with a starting level. Well, at the main game you start with level 1, so you need to acquire some skill points yourself, either by doing quests, which, as you may think, we're not gonna do a lot of because, you know, speedruns, and by picking up places of power. We're gonna pick up exactly 2 because we need 3 points before the Griffin fight. You're gonna see just in a moment why exactly. Yes, I ran past the quest with the pan because it doesn't give that much EXP, and we don't need that much EXP after all. So now we're gonna talk to the commander of the garrison. He actually gives us the official quest for the Griffin, and he tells us, or we tell him what we need to do. We need to collect the Buckthorn, but we actually did it. As you may have seen, and we also have to, you know, examine the Griffin layer, which we're gonna do in a second. As you could see, we entered the badass way to the garrison. We also leave the badass way because we are witchers, and that's badass.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna call Roach.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can talk. I just.
Yeah, the reason we go behind the garrison is there's a cutscene there that we're gonna skip. If we go the right way around, there's a cutscene. Yeah, we can't really skip, and it's just faster to go around.
It sounds to me like the real reason is because it's cool, and the cutscene skip is just a nice side effect.
Yes, yeah, it's just an addition. You want to look cool when you are a witcher, and we will look cool.
It is slightly faster than going all the way around. Saves a couple seconds, plus the cutscene skip and the swag.
So, Geralt is actually really good at investigating stuff because you're gonna see it right now. We have to examine the layer, we come to the Griffin, step away, and we know everything. And we even get a level up for that, which is great. There's a neatly placed place of power right next to it, so we get another bonus level. We now have 3 levels that we needed, and the best part of the run is coming right up. Geralt, oh, that was an interesting mounting animation. Okay, I'm taking that. And we're gonna drive off to the distance because we don't want to be witchers anymore, and actually the game forces us to teleport, so we're gonna use it. And the developers didn't know that you can actually teleport on a horse back then, so it's a corgi horse. Now we go off from it, and it's fine.
Oh my god, I wasn't prepared.
Yeah, this is the beauty of playing the old patch. There are some glitches that are patched right now in the current patch, but the developers didn't think you can actually teleport on a horse. So yeah, this kind of a funny glitch happens.
So just to mention here, he's trying to do a glitch here. He's doing a setup here to skip Vesemir running to the field. So if you just mount Roach in the right spot, and then you mount him again, and you keep Vesemir in... Yeah, he got it. So if you keep him in the right spot, or if you keep him in the in area while getting on Roach, you'll actually teleport here instead of running.
Headphone alert! Headphone alert! The Griffin is loud. The end of the headphone alert. Okay, back to the explanation.
Shouldn't be that bad.
I think I was a little late on the volume. Hopefully it didn't blow people's ears out.
This is the Griffin fight. Really annoying. But I got it really well. Okay.
Alright, we're coming up to the best part of the run right here. I'll let you explain it.
Watch it really carefully. We shot a bolt from the crossbow because we like our crossbow. I got through the first phase of the Griffin fight, but I really like my crossbow. I even leveled it up. I'm gonna even zoom in a little bit to admire it even more.
We're gonna explain all this.
Get it. That's great.
We're gonna explain all this.
You know.
Yeah, just watch. We're gonna explain all this after.
Okay, I have to reload this crazy because I didn't get it. You know.
It's pretty crazy.
The crossbow wasn't reloaded properly, but so yeah, you're gonna see the Griffin fight yet again. Oh, and it's another warning. Never mind. I had a really good fight with Griffin, so good that you're gonna see it again.
Fortunately,
yeah, I said I reload save because I didn't get the thing.
Usually we would save when we do the first crossbow shot. We usually would save there in case we don't get the glitch, but I guess we didn't save there.
I thought I did, but
what?
Okay. Hi Griffin. Hello.
That doesn't really lose any time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I'm still in the first phase? Okay. What's happening? Hello? Okay.
Well, this is old patch, folks. It's a glitchy map.
We're coming back, and the entire area has despawned already. What's happening? Jesus, that's had never happened before. Nice.
Somehow
Okay.
we got all this way, and that's our first. That's never happened before of the night.
Okay,
Yeah, you
so
might
now
hear-
we're
you
gonna
might hear-
see some magic.
You may hear that again a couple times.
A little bit earlier. I like my crossbow, so I want to have it zoomed in. Look at the mill; it's really good. I like
You
the
did
animation.
very early though. That's the only thing.
Yeah,
Well, you can have a
It's-
nice look at the skyline. and all
I
the
want
trees.
to take it this time, so I did it a little bit early. I'm losing time after all, so it's fine. So, this game is really good because Geralt takes the word speedrun a little bit too literally. Because he's a maniac.
That's the best glitch in the whole run.
Yeah.
I might as well explain it right now while he just finishes up a couple quests. So normally when you zoomed in like that in the crossbow, you can't save your game. So yeah, we equipped some certain skill points so that we can zoom in like that on the crossbow, and yeah, we can't save the game. So what we do there is we aim the crossbow with the zoom in, and then once the game auto saves for the Griffin, we reload the save. And the effect of that is when we shoot the crossbow anytime, we will have a very speed glitch that it only affects Geralt, doesn't affect anything else in the game. But what it does, Geralt can like swing his sword fast. You can run around, as you can see right there.
Basically, the entire of all of the Geralt's animations are sped up twice, and I actually need some cooperations with the chat because you see how great this glitch is. And trust me, every 5 minutes, someone will come to the chat and ask why is Geralt so fast. So we're gonna explain it once again, and please remember this and explain this to all the people that were gonna come in. I will be very grateful to you because you are heroes if you do it.
Yes.
So what's happening? If I zoom in with a crossbow during an autosave, okay, if I zoom in with a crossbow normally, the world slows down immensely, and Geralt moves relatively normal because I have to take a proper shot, right? But if you do it during an autosave, the game stores the difference between the speeds of Geralt and the world. So if you reload it, and world moves back to normal, and the speed difference have to be maintained, Geralt goes super fast.
All right. Hopefully, we explained it well enough so you guys can understand. If you needed us to explain it again, just put it in the chat. But yeah, we're coming up. This is basically a glorified auto scroller. Can't really skip. There is a swag strat. Saves no time.
The lore reason is that we now know that we are super witchers and we've obtained so amazing supernatural powers, but we have to go to the Emervar Emre, the really bad guy. Don't talk about it too much. To the bad guy. But we don't want the bad guy to know that we are super witchers, so we hide our powers and move normally right now.
Oh, you didn't go for the swag strat. So if you come out of that first cutscene there, if you get your timing correct, you can jump and roll in front of the Chamberlain here. Saves no time. It's a very nice swag strat though. This is pretty hard to
because
do.
the Chamberlain will push you, and because of that you are a little bit further.
Yeah. Again, saves no time at all.
Why we are not so fast right now? The reason is every single time there is a so-called big transition in the game, so changing the worlds from Vizima to Novigrad or White Orchard, as we did right now, or changing characters between Geralt and Ciri, the game reloads the entire script for the character. So we are back to our normal speed. What we need to do every time we do this big transition is to just pull out our crossbow again. But in this area, we're not supposed to have any weapons, so we cannot draw it out. So this is one of the few areas we actually have to be slowed down again. But as soon as we finish this little segment, which is going off like right now, we're gonna be super fast again. So don't worry, we're gonna be back with superpowers. And yes, the glitch doesn't work on the current patch as well. That's why the category is the old patch. It's got patched out in the patch 1.07. That's why we play on 1.06.
Well, might as well talk about categories. So yeah, we have 90% old patch which we're running right now with the speed glitch and a couple other glitches that really doesn't add up to that much, but the speed glitch is the main thing to be attracted to. And then you got current patch, which is 1.06 1.31 game of the year or 1.32, depending on what launcher you have your game on, and that's just current patch with current strats. And we have a 100% route. To date, only one person has done it. It took, I think, 23 hours, I think, if I'm correct.
19 hours. 19 hours.
Yes. That's a pretty fast speedrun right there. And then you got Death March %, which is basically 80% current patch on Death March mode, which is the hardest difficulty. Again, to remind everyone again...
It's still routed. It's not completed yet, so...
Yes. To remind everyone again, we are playing on the easiest difficulty.
And don't think that the easiest difficulty is actually easy, because we skip most of the things in the game. We don't get that many levels, we don't get good equipment, so the late game bosses may be harsh and will be harsh at some parts.
We'll see. There's a couple skips that he might not do, but I do. We'll see.
There are some skips that I do and you do not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So right now we are supposed to go to the inn to realize where is our contact, but we know exactly where our contact is, so we can just go straight there without finding any information. And as you can see, combat as a Super Witcher is really fast as well, which is super convenient.
There's a cinematic cutscene here, but we can just skip that.
Yeah, I forget it every single time I play, so I have a note on the screen saying, press 2 at this moment, please. We skipped most of the dialogues, but you have to still remember which options to pick when. So.
This is just
people in the chat are already explaining the glitch. Shoutouts to all of you guys.
Yes.
Very good job.
Yeah, so this is just some lore stuff here. By reading that journal, there's 4 leads that you have to follow throughout the game, and there we go. We just found out all 4 leads, and we're going to be doing them in a certain order to go fast.
Because our contact was dead, oops, but at least we found his journal, so we still know the leads that he wanted to tell us. Remember the time we got into the garrison of Nilfgaardian's really swag way? We're gonna do the swag strats here as well. So normally you're supposed to go through the well or go through the main entrance, but we can just go around this palisade because we are Super Witchers and we're not gonna fall down. And we jump straight into the cutscene from the side of the tower, so we can rush into the castle of Baron immediately.
Yeah, even I don't do that.
It's the fastest way, but it's really finicky because the palisades, as you have seen, are 45-degree angles, and if you slide from them, you cannot do anything and you die.
Yeah.
So it's precise. It's
precise. It only saves like 3 or 4 seconds if you just go through the well and hit up the ladder. There's a couple skips there as well, but we're not going to show that.
So right now we have the first Siri segment. Siri is not sped up by the crossbow glitch, but she's a born speedrunner because she has a dash ability, which we're gonna abuse every time we try to walk. It's available only in combat mode, so you're gonna see me pull out my sword to like two or 1 hit of the sword to be in the combat mode, and then just dash again, as you can see right now.
Shoutouts to Madeline from Celeste, one of my all-time favorite games, as well as this for the dash ability.
That's really cool, right?
Yes.
Celeste definitely was inspired after The Witcher. That's what.
Well, in our
many
minds,
games take away from The Witcher. You're gonna see examples later on as well.
Yeah. So yeah, right there, he didn't dash. Oh, yeah, he didn't dash into that cutscene because what happens there if he dashes into the cutscene and the cutscene fades in? There is a glitch where you can't do any dialogue choices. So, and that's
because if you dash into some cutscenes, there is a possibility that the game thinks that you are in the fight and in the cutscene at the same time, and because of that you cannot choose any dialogue options, and you're forced to the cutscene forever. And you cannot even go to the menu, because in the cutscenes you cannot go to the menu, which is great.
Great
That's why we
what I would think.
So yeah, we're coming up to the final boss here. Pretty simple. You just dash behind him with
You don't even have to dash behind him. Siri has so much damage, the crits are not necessary.
Yeah, I do that so I don't get hit the first time, but you do something different, so.
Because we had a Siri segment, Geralt will be normal speed again, but because we can pull out our crossbow here, we're gonna be super fast in a second. Right now, okay. And now I'm gonna equip a very important perk, a Katsuku perk, that makes me have plus 15 or plus 5. I can never remember. I think it's plus 5.
It's plus 5 per amount of light armor. So we have 3 pieces of light armor on Geralt right now. So that gives us plus
because
15
we have
damage.
light as well.
And we're coming up to a big skip here. I'll let you explain it.
Yeah, there is a big skip here. Normally, we have to wait for the Baron to finish his dialogue before he can open the door. Oh, I came too early. No! I failed my own skip.
Yeah.
I failed my own skip. How embarrassing is that?
But if you grab the key and stuff in that armor, as you saw, what happens is it overrides the Baron's dialogue, so you can just skip parts of that. And if you do it time it correctly, you can actually just go right through the door earlier than normally we would with just the Baron dialogue.
Yeah, essentially, Geralt's dialogue overrides the Baron's dialogue, and Baron has to finish his dialogue before he can open the door. But if we override it, he opens the door immediately.
And there's another small skip here. If there's usually a guy that comes walking down the stairs, and if he knocks Geralt while he's in that animation there, if examining the floorboard, he'll push Geralt out of the animation. Although it's pretty risky because half the time he doesn't even walk down the stairs, and maybe he will time it wrong.
Also, getting out the badass way, because we are super witchers. We don't care about going around. You may have seen me pick up some random stuff in the Baron's house. I've actually picked up 4 chests. We need some money in this run. At the end of the Novigrad part, we need 1,500 crowns, 500 for buying maps that unlock fast travel points, and 1,000 in order to actually get to Skellige. And we collect them in a set way. I actually routed out the money so that I know exactly what to pick up. If we pick up 4 chests in Baron's house, we earn 300 crowns from all pearls that he has. We also have 80 from all the Witcher gear that we sell, because we change our gear later. We also have 300 for a ruby, and overall we have the money routed pretty consistently. Okay, I went a little bit too far, but I have to fight the bear here, because we have to rescue the goat from Pellar's goat, because Pellar has a goat, and she wandered off somewhere, and we have to save her.
Shout out to Princess the Goat for being very slow.
Imagine being that fast of a person and having to wait for every single escort mission that is in the game. And we have some escort missions in this game, so they are really slow, especially fast.
This is the goat quest for people asking.
The goat quest is the main quest, we cannot skip it at all. You may wonder why I led the goat to the bear's cave. Because she wanders off there every single time. You try to go with her, so it's easier to actually lead her there instead of just waiting for her to go by herself. And you could technically kill the bear as soon as the goat goes there, which is a little bit faster. But there's a high chance after you kill the bear, he will respawn and you have to kill him twice. So what I do to have a safe strat is I just kill the bear before actually finding the goat herself.
So this is a little premature, but we are coming up to an important skip here, which is a lot harder than it seems like on any % old patch. So we should
it requires some precise movements. But...
It requires precise movement, and it would skip a boss fight that is very annoying. So we're just gonna go talk to the Baron here and just do some quest stuff. But after that, we have the botchling, and you might know this if you play casually. You have the option of a So we'll just go back a little bit. The Baron miscarried. The Baron's wife miscarried. So, and then the Baron buried the daughter that was to be born. And so you have the option to save the body, or you have the option to kill it. And if you decide to kill it, there's this monster called the Botchling that comes out of the ground, and we can quick kill that by using Ard and pushing him between 2 walls. So there's a stone wall and a wooden wall. You wanna use Ard to try to push him between the stone wall and the wooden wall. It's a pretty consistent setup, but it is much harder on old patch. So we'll see if he gets it here.
So I'm just gonna kill it normally.
Well, there is a backup. He's probably not gonna go for it at this point. But this boss fight is very the spawn's very basic.
Okay, it's bad. This normally doesn't happen. Okay. I have to improvise. This is really bad. Can I eat bread?
Ooh, that was very close. He's about to die.
Okay.
Ooh, very close. Alright, hopefully he doesn't get hit by the race on the way out.
No, because if you... I didn't want to talk to him. If you kill the botchling
yeah.
normally, the race...
Oh yeah, that's right. I have not killed the botchling normally in about 2 years, so
Normally, if you don't get the botchling skip, you just restart.
yes.
Essentially, if you push the botchling in between the stone part of the wall and the wooden part of the wall, the game wants to despawn him, but it's a mini boss, so the game cannot actually despawn him. So what the game does is despawns its hitbox, and because the boss doesn't have its hitbox, he doesn't have any health, so we kill him immediately. But it's really precise, and precise movement as a fast Geralt is not an optimal thing. I'm actually gonna meditate because I have really low health.
Yeah, thankfully it's early on until run. You could reset. There's also a backup. It's a lot easier to do, but looks like he didn't go for the backup. But that's alright.
Yeah, because 90% of the time when I fight the botchling normally, he won't pull out the spikes that he had from his back. Because if you attack him constantly, you interrupt him and he won't actually go into his second phase. But for some reason, now he did.
Well, that's a strat that can show off next run.
Marathon run. Every marathon run has to have some obstacle.
That strategy is in 80% current patch as well. Although it's a little bit easier because you don't run as fast, you can get into the right spot much easier in the full patch.
Right now we fight some wolves. It's really important that we go ahead and kill the wolves before Pellar reaches here, because if he does, he will actually try to fight them with his stick, and he will go into combat mode. And if he goes into combat mode, we have to wait like solid 5 seconds for him to go out of it, and wait for him to run again.
So just some chat stuff. Looks like Railgoon, thank you very much. He put a command, exclamation point in Geralt. It'll explain why the speed glitch is happening. Share it with all your friends. Thank you very much for doing that.
You're welcome. I felt like it was appropriate, given that
Yes, very
Kanzik
necessary.
wanted the chat participation. Now you can just type exclamation point Geralt.
Yeah, so participation is even easier. Great job, guys. Okay, so now we have the botchling ritual. It's really important for me to actually kill the first phase of the enemies before the second phase even starts.
So this part, while he's fighting this race right here, this part is RNG. So there's 2 points in time where the fires will go out, and which ones go out is actually RNG. So usually it's only one that goes out, but sometimes you get very unlucky and 2 fires go out, and you just have to restart them. So you saw immediately when he started the fight, he went to the fire on the left, and he's eager to light it, because the first time that fire always goes out first, but now he finished the first phase, and only one of the fires went out, so that's good. But now he's got one more chance of bad RNG here, so hopefully he doesn't get that.
Yeah, the thing I mentioned about the first phase is that if you kill all wraiths in the first phase before the second one starts, others won't actually go into combat mode. And won't attack you at all, and you won't go into combat mode. Because of that, you can loot every single enemy that is there, and looting them means money. And right now, I think I have more than enough money for the late game, so I don't need to pick up any chest that is required normally in the 90% round.
All right, for I am credit card, we're using Japanese because it saves 4 seconds in the run.
It
Yes.
is 4 seconds.
4 seconds, not that much, but it's worth it.
I timed it, I lost 2 days to time it, so I'm gonna take them back by running Japanese. I have to do like 2,000 rounds in order to take those 2 days back, but I'm gonna do it.
I appreciate the dedication.
I mean, if I didn't use the fastest version, it would be silly of me to actually time everything.
I mean, given that Geralt is committed to going fast, we should be committed to going fast as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm speedrunning, you know, it's really fast. Right now we go to the worst section in the entire game, which is Kira section, because Kira is the worst character in the entire game, don't at me, and also her section is the slowest one, because it has plenty of auto-scrollers. We can speed them up, fortunately, but only so slightly, so we're gonna be here for a while. Is this a task? No, this is Kajik.
So now that we're entering a slower portion of the game, where would people go if they wanted to get into Witcher speedruns?
We have a Discord.
Yes, we do have a Discord, and we also have some very nice mods that actually helped us with some resources. And me myself have a whole Google Doc with all the guides for each category, other than Old Patch. Well, Old Patch is very similar to Current Patch anyway. But if you just want to get into speedrunning, I recommend you do Hearts of Stone or Blood and Wine. I would say Blood and Wine is slightly easier, although it is the longer category, as you saw earlier. And again, we have a bunch of guides on that, explain the route in great detail. But yeah, please do play the game casually before you start speedrunning, because you skip out on the story and lore stuff. So.
And joining the Discord is the best way to really learn how the skips work, how the game works, and just joining the community. It's a fun community. It's really, the game's always just great. The story's amazing if you played it, and just speedrunning it lets us and me play it again over and over. So that was pretty fun.
Yeah, we tend to get some hate from the casual audience because we speedrun this game, but the reason why we speedrun this game is because we like it so much and we just can't get enough of it.
And speedrun is lore correct. I've made that point already, so yeah.
And thank you to the one person that just joined our Discord right now. So yeah, we're just coming up. We have a fight. We got a fight here. It's the Golem. It's gonna be pretty quick. Usually, you're gonna cast Yurden there to try to. Yeah, you're gonna cast Yurden to try to get him in and not move and do his annoying attack. And then we're gonna get behind him and we just use some strong attacks to finish him off. Because if you attack someone from the back, it actually does more damage. It does more chance for crit.
Geralt decided to pull back his sword. That's great.
It's very annoying. That was a very good fight, though.
What happened with the sword?
The thing with the sword is Geralt really likes pulling back and forth his sword when he enters the combat, so to prevent that we do this manually ourselves, but sometimes Geralt just knows better.
Yeah, he'll just randomly sheath it or unsheath it. It's just how it is. And when it's unsheathed, he'll start punching the monsters, which is very slow.
Not only is it slow,
Especially
but
with a
every
golem.
punch you do to a monster stuns you, so it's a really big time loss.
Oh no.
The game really likes to tell you, like, just use a sword, don't punch the monster, it's bad.
Oh my goodness, you weren't kidding about the auto-scroller?
Yeah, this is the autoscroller part, we really love it. The good part is, we don't need to wait for Kira to close the portals, we can close them ourselves. Why is that? Well, Kira right now dabs because she's so good. That's why I don't like the character, by the way. But while Kira dabs, can actually explain this. The reason, what is actually happening here? Well, Kira is the advanced magician that's supposed to use advanced magic to close these portals because they are really so hard to close, right? Well, they appear later in the game, and the game tells you can use Demetrium bombs or the Irden sign to close them. So you figure out, these are the same portals that are here. Can we actually close them with Irden as well? We can. So you can just come in, close them, and they are closed immediately. We don't need to wait for the long animation of Kira trying to close them and spawning enemies from the portal. Because if you close the portal fast enough, no enemies will spawn there. So it's a really nifty time save. But we still need to walk with Kira, so it's slow.
Yeah, you gotta wait till the quest updates before you can actually run out and close the portal. If you go too early, you just won't be able to close the portal with Yurden, and you can just try again by casting it again. But again, if you don't close the portal, there's like the wild hunt hounds come out, you gotta kill them out. It's kind of annoying and slow. So
Yeah, and you have to stay in the barrier here that Kira did. The only good thing she did in the room. Because if you go out, you take damage from the snowstorm that is outside. That's why we have to trail.
thankfully he got 3 for 3, so that's good for them.
Yeah, it comes down to muscle memory to know where to go out. You wait for the objective update, wait like a second or a second and a half, and then go out, and it's fine. So now, as usual, we wait for Kira. Because it's the best segment of the game.
You gotta wait for the quest update to hear. If you go too early, the boss will just not be loaded and you can't fight him.
The second reason we hate Kira segment, or not the second, one of the many reasons we hate Kira segment is that we actually have to wait for her in order to trigger some quest updates. Because if we run off too early, which can happen pretty quickly if you are a Super Witcher, well, the quest won't update. And sometimes, including this room, if you go here without the quest update, you will be soft-locked. So you have to watch out. Also, Nithral is the guy that literally cheats, because this fight is really cool when you are on the old patch. You can just hit him on the back.
If you were looking at his health bar, you noticed that we actually killed him in that second phase, but he didn't die.
But he heals himself because he's a dirty cheater. You're not a cheater, we're just super fast.
We gotta wait for his last phase. Thankfully, he's pretty easy to kill. Just with some strong sword blows, and actually there are there's two ways to attack in The Witcher 3. There's a strong attack and there's a fast attack. We mainly use strong attacks because they deal more damage, but there's sometimes for some enemies we have to use fast attack. So, and right now he's just reading a book to update one of the quests.
Switching the sword to a better one. We don't have many opportunities in this game to actually have a better equipment, so every good sword matters. Right now we should wait for Kira to finish up her quest, but I don't like her, so I'm just gonna run away.
That's the one time where we can skip part of our main quest. The one time.
Yeah, the one time. So technically it's not the main quest, because usually the next part of the main quest is triggered after talking to a character at the end of the previous one. Well, not this time, because this time it's required to read the book that Kira gives you just before you leave the cave. So what you do, read the book, leave the cave, see you later, Kira. No need to you. I hope you like Kira. Oh, okay.
I went to the fire.
I went to the fire, that's why I cannot interact with the travel points. That's really fun.
Yeah, the downside to old patch on the map screen is you might have noticed from Bloodborne Hearts of Stone, you don't have the small minimap in the bottom right. And sometimes when you tab over to objectives, it tabs over to the wrong one. So that's kind of annoying. So you actually have to zoom out and scroll the map, which is kind of slow.
Where the points are, it's not that bad. So right now I'm running to the village. I need to meet the leader of the village, let's say. I don't know the English name, so let's call it that.
I think it's the Elderman.
Oh yeah, the Elderman, yeah, thanks. It's good to have English native speakers here with me. That's really nice. So I'm actually just unlocking the waypoint here and going back to the bog, so I can start the quest with the bog. I found that Knickknack is using a faster way that I'm doing it, so I upgraded it and I'm using even the faster one. So.
Yeah. So the way I do it is, one of my viewers pointed this out, and thank you for that if he's watching now. But it's faster to go to the tree spirit first and kill him first, than to actually go to the village and talk to the old woman here. And the reason for that is after you talk to the Elderman the second time in the village and show him that you actually killed this tree spirit, he actually teleports you back to the village and starts a cutscene instead of having you to go back to the signpost and teleport yourself. So it saves a couple seconds of teleporting.
My route, which is a little bit upgraded version, is making sure that I do the village part first, then the tree, and then I teleport from the tree, because there is a signpost there, to the Elderman. And I guess you didn't know that there's a signpost there, that's why you didn't use I guess.
Yeah.
And signposts are used for fast traveling. For those who may not know.
That's the reason. And you can only fast travel between signposts that you've already seen. That's why I went past one near the village. Or you can buy a map to unlock more travel points. Also, because we are super glitchers, we can climb up high hills just like this, which is nifty.
Yeah, if someone's asking in the chat, is it enjoyable? I mean, if you like The Witcher 3, yes, it is enjoyable. If you like speedrunning, yes, it is. But
it is enjoyable. If you enjoy watching this, running is 10 times more enjoyable, I have to say.
The only downside in most Witcher speedruns is that the game is very linear, so you'll have to do everything in the same order. So it's kind of annoying because there's not very that many routing options.
Geralt decided not to pull out the sword, so I had to use the fist fight option.
Yeah,
which is not optimal.
Anyway, yeah, there's not that many routing options other than like a certain select few quests, so that's kind of the only problem. But other than that, it's a pretty enjoyable game, especially in the old patch. As you see, Geralt is not Geralt of Rivia anymore, he's now Sonic.
Look at this dagger. This dagger is important. You're gonna see in a second why. Remember this dagger. This dagger is a very important item in the entirety of the Witcher 3 game. And I'm gonna explain it in like just a minute, but first I have to kill the tree, as you've mentioned. Kill the tree spirit. There's also a werewolf fight on the way, but we can just run past him and it's fine, because we are too fast to trigger the actual combat. Yes, we are Sonic of Rivia. I like the nickname. I'm gonna use it now.
Geralt has found the Chaos Emeralds and is now Super Geralt.
Yeah, thank you to chat to mention that. I don't know who originally set up, but I can pull it from that. So right now, I'll get killing the tree spirit. As I said before, I would usually do this first, but we all have slightly different routes. So
Yeah, you can go to Cymbals there, but you have to kill all of the Andryagas there, but because you are in combat if you don't do it. And you know why? You know why the dagger is important? Because you reset it twice in the span of 1 minute, and it's the only cutscene that is unskippable in any percent. So enjoy it. And it's so important. They spent so much time to model this dagger. They had to show it to you twice in the span of 1 minute. And right now you can see why Ciri is the greatest speedrunner of them all. The entirety of the segment is Ciri dashing and me mashing space, and that's it. The end of the segment. Boom. Great Ciri segment, 10 out of 10.
I'm noticing that you appear to rank characters based on how fast they are.
Yeah, I mean, that's the speedrun. What do you expect? I mean, okay, Yennefer is great, but that's because she's Yennefer. She's not the fastest one, but she's Yennefer. She gets a pass.
Definitely faster than Kira when we reach her segment.
Kira is annoying and also slow, so that's a double no-no.
So you should mention here. Yeah, you want to go ahead? Yeah, do it.
Yeah, mention something. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're heading on to Novigrad now. So we're done with in my opinion, the most annoying part of the game, which is Velen, because usually I'm the one who dies there a lot. But we're heading into Novigrad. It's pretty easy. Just do a couple quests, follow the quests, and yeah, you're done, basically. And as we said again before, we need 1,500 crowns to get to Skellige, and it looks like he's already done with that. So yeah, we collect those chests, and we're going to sell them all out of Blacksmith right before we go to Skellige to get all that
I'm actually not
money back.
collecting the chests. We're going to need them now.
Yeah. He might go for some safe strats here.
Not safe
money.
Plastic ones, but I didn't do the tutorial. Sorry, I'm gonna do it eventually. I swear. So yeah, we entered Novigrad. As you have seen, we did the greatest option ever possible in the game, and the developers actually reward you by giving you EXP. There are 3 ways to enter Novigrad. You can either do a quest to get a pass from the bridge, you can either pay to get a pass from the bridge, or you can just swim through. And the developers thought you may actually swim through because they even give you EXP for choosing that option. And swimming faster is...
Yeah, so there's a difference here from current patch. In current patch, we still go to the island, but instead of going and paying for a pass, we actually go around the back. And it's actually dev intended, because the guys there actually say some stuff, and they just let you go on in the end. So...
Yeah, the guys say some stuff even if you try to swim too close to the island.
Yes, it was dev intended.
There's so many additional dialogues here that you wouldn't think that developers thought you would do such things, but they actually did, and it's hilariously good.
Yeah, it's really cool. If you play the game again, a lot of the NPCs and characters all have different dialogue lines. So being a speedrunner, it's kind of interesting just hearing new dialogue lines every time you run the game. It's something you don't really think about, but the devs did that, which I think is pretty cool.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, with speedrunning, you admire a different perspective of the game. Normally you would, do 100% and maybe most of the side quests because they are amazing. Here you try to be as fast as possible, so you think of the game in a very different perspective, and it's really refreshing, I have to say. That's why I like speedrunning this game really much. Also, sweet over here.
Yes, thank you for the chat for clarifying why we're running on Japanese for someone. You have like 10 responses already.
Yeah, Japanese is faster by 4 seconds. 4 seconds, I'm taking it. And it's only faster 4 seconds by English. The next one is Polish, which is slower only by a second from Japanese.
But to be honest, Polish is the best language to play in casual.
I'm Polish, and I have to agree. I mean, it'd be shame if
it is the original language of the book. So.
And it's also the original language of the game. They recorded the Polish one first.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Then recorded every single dialogue compared to.
CD
compared to
Projekt
the
Red
Polish
is
one.
a Polish developer, after all.
I do like the idea that, you know, Geralt has such a huge priority to save Ciri that he's doing these quests, he runs up, okay, what do I gotta do? And then, like, does the thing, throws an item at someone and just dashes off at maximum speed.
Sometimes he doesn't even want to talk to them. Like, for example, in Velen, we're supposed to talk to Baron about what happened to his wife. We're not gonna do this until an hour later.
And we probably should mention, because so a couple people asking earlier, yeah, we did submit a bunch of these categories to SGDQ, so maybe you'll see them
I mean,
in a
you
couple
did,
months.
because
I did. No one else. But
this is probably my only chance to actually be on GDQ's channel, because I'm from Europe, and it's expensive to go to America.
Yeah.
He did a lot of ESA runs. I think he did one, actually, ESA runs.
Yeah,
if you
one
want to check that out.
And yeah, you can check that out as well.
It's my submission's not visible right now because GDQ has a lot of submissions to rifle through. So.
Games list will be June 6th, if people are curious. And if
Fun
you're-
fact, that's the day after my birth.
Oh, that's nice. It would be really nice if you gather presents, right? No pressure, guys.
It's 2 days after mine, actually.
Wow, we have very similar birthdays. Yeah, so anyway, because there was a goblin there that gave the dreamer evil spirits, so we had to get rid of her.
Yeah, basically, the house is haunted. We figure out what is haunting the house. We figure out, well, it's not worth to actually kill it, and it's not that fast. So we say, oh, it's still haunted, whatever, and to the owner, and we just leave. That's literally what happened. We tell him, well, it's still haunted. We cannot do much. See you later. Good luck. So now we have the dreamer section. There's supposed to, because this girl is an oneiromancer. I know this word because I've played Witcher, and this is the only reason. Oneiromancer is a person that can see the past of a person in her dreams after you talk to her about what was her past. So right now she dreamed about what happened with Ciri here, so we know where to look. And apparently she went off with Dandelion. And well, if Dandelion is anywhere in the game, we know it's gonna be a problem.
Just some lore stuff. If you watch the Witcher Netflix series, Dandelion's actually, his name is Jaskier in there, and there's a very famous song. You know exactly what I'm talking about, so go spam it in chat.
Don't say kind to your Witcher. Actually, the original name in the Polish version is also Jaskier, so.
Yeah, so that's why they yeah.
I didn't know that. That's nice.
CD Projekt Red actually just changed his name for the English version just to make it easier on everyone.
Did you wind up walking over a fire and setting Geralt on fire in that section?
Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's still fine. It doesn't matter.
At least seeing him run that fast makes a bit more sense when he's on fire.
You know, the clothes are just ripping off as soon as he tries to run. I feel bad for his shoes, though.
So yeah, so what we're doing here is so we found out that Dandelion had some lovers. So our quest now is to find his lovers and ask them where he might be. So he's doing some of this stuff out of order than you would normally do. Actually, no, he's not. What am I saying? But yeah, so Geralt is tasked on talking to 6 people. We're only going to talk to 3 of them. The 3 main people that we have to talk to. And then we're going to go talk back to Zoltan to continue on with the game.
Yeah, because we have to get information about Dandelion. The quest is really fun because you go around talking to girls that Dandelion met to realize what actually happened and where the hell is Dandelion. And the answer you get is that no one knows. So you go to Zoltan, and Zoltan actually has the answer, and he's the guy that told you to start the quest. So you run around for nothing, but it's funny. Also, mega jump incoming. Whee! Oh, it could be better. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, and it's someone corrected me in chat. His name was switched to Dandelion because his original name, Buttercup, was too feminine. Thank you for correcting me. The more you know.
Okay, it was supposed to be a mega jump. It wasn't as impressive as it should have been. But the mega jump basically is another glitch happening with the speedrun of this game. Literal speedrun, because Geralt is a speedrunner. Well, if you run that fast, the physics kind of glitch out. And sometimes if you run next to an obstacle at the particular angle and you jump, the momentum from your run is preserved and you jump up immensely. And it launches you in the air, and if you're not careful, you can die easily. It actually happened in many of my marathon runs, so...
Yes, that's another version of the door boost if you've been staying with us from the Hearthstone. Basically, if you jump in the door frame of a door, it'll give you a small jump boost because of the physics being weird. Although, because we're going so fast, it's multiplied exponentially. So we go a lot further.
And we don't use them in the game because they are random and you can die easily. So
I use them. I use the safe ones. But yeah, in old patch we don't really use them that much because it's real easy to die. But in current patch we use them a lot. Or myself, I use them a lot.
Well, that's what the song of Priscilla, 10 out of 10. I hope you enjoyed it. There were claps in the background, so people liked it, I guess.
It's one of the best songs in the game, but sadly we skip over it.
You know, there has to be some sacrifices, right?
Yes.
So right now we go to the bathhouse because we're supposed to meet Ziggy Roiven, and surprise, surprise, is actually Diskra. One of the worst characters in the game. I hate him even more than Kira, I think, because he's a douche, and that's the only reason. So we're supposed to be attacked here by those peasants, by henchmen, but you know, we're witchers, we're fine. Even if you get the random mace, because we don't have our equipment, it's gonna be fine for us. So apparently Ziggy Roiven, also known as Diskra, or as I like to call him, DJ Skra, because that's how we pronounce his name officially. This guy knows something about Dandelion, but we need to do a quest for him in order for him to talk. So we have to find what exactly happened to his gold, because someone stole it. Spoilers, it's actually Dandelion, which is great. And really efficient.
I'm really impressed that Geralt's towel stayed on while he was running around at that speed.
It's a really good towel.
Yeah.
Shout out to the towel. It didn't fly off. Like, his hair physics, on the other hand, his hair are all over the place when he runs.
Yeah.
Well, as I've mentioned, Geralt is really good at investigating stuff, so we just investigate a couple of things in the this area, and Geralt actually knows everything what happened. There was a bomb here that blew off the part of the wall of Ziggy Roiven's treasure, and that's why we know the trail. And actually, for some reason, on one of the shards of the bomb, there are initials for the guy that made it. Why would you do this? If you try to rob someone, don't engrave your initials on one of the evidence. That's a bad idea. But thankfully, because of that, we can actually find them. This is right here, okay, I missed it just by an inch.
Just lore for the game. Technically, that guy is dead, but not dead. So there was a funeral for him. Dijkstra here, who's the guy in the bathhouse that runs it, he thought that guy died, but when he looked at his logbooks, he realized that guy is not dead. So, mysterious man.
So right now we go to Horson's casino because there is this guy called Horson. Yeah, it's his name. What can we do? Sometimes it happens. We come to his casino and we beat the crap out of everyone, as you can see, because that's how you get information from people. Okay, but I'm supposed to say we get information from people here by making them talk as fast as possible. And because we made them talk, we actually know everything. We're supposed to get to this guy because he apparently got into contact with Ciri as well, and we try to investigate what are his connotations with Ciri. And right now we know that he made a deal with Redanians, so we can actually talk to Diskra about it. But first of all, we have to find his treasure. Or any clue of his treasure.
A fun fact, the auto hockey makes people talk faster.
Only Geralt. Oh, nice mega jump. Okay, cool. Not that I needed it, but sure. These are random, so yeah.
And actually, we should mention that the 5th anniversary of this game is tomorrow, and that's why we're running this now. If you joined us just now, I think someone asked it in chat.
Yeah, please for The Witcher, just check out the game if you haven't tried it. There's a Netflix series. It's really good. From my perspective, if it's your first time watching it, it could be a little bit confusing due to the timelines, but I like it. And there's also the book series, so there's a lot of Witcher going on.
Shout out
Really
to
good.
Andrew Sapkowski, if I said that right, for creating the original books back in like 1999 or something.
If you're not Polish, you will never say it right, so I'll give you
Yeah.
a pass.
I gotta pull up Google Translate.
I'm not even gonna try. I'm part Polish, but I don't speak it because I grew
Yeah.
up in America.
Oh, I did not know this.
I think Andrew Sapkowski, that's really bad.
Yeah, you were really close. I have to say it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm not Polish. We should
so
actually,
now,
we should actually say that you're running this at like 3 a.m. at night, so thank you for doing that.
yeah, it's 3:43 right now.
Yes,
AM.
most of our runners are actually European, other than me and Puzzle, who are American, so it's not that late here. But thank you for doing this so late at night.
I love this game, and every time I run this game on a marathon, I have to do it late in the night. So. Almost died there, but it doesn't matter. I'm fine. It's fine. It's all fine. So basically, we got information that actually there is our friend from Witcher 2, which is Vernon Roche, wandering around here, and he made something about the deal that the Junior did with Redanians, and we will see some funny interactions with a certain Redanian contact. We're gonna see in a moment, but first of all, let me just not die here. Okay, cool. That's a really hard trick. You have to stop. And as fast Geralt, it's not that easy.
Yeah, if you're running that full speed there, you're gonna clip a ledge, and you're gonna die, because the game gets confused.
What's actually happening there? The NPCs that are in the cave are aggroing you, and because they are programmed that everything that is everything that they are aggroed on, they have to insta-kill. They insta-kill you. And because you go there too fast, that cutscene trigger doesn't spawn yet, technically. So if you go there too fast, they just kill you. Even though you're supposed to talk to them and get information from them. That's funny, but it's true.
And
So we have
just
a funny interaction with a Redanian
go ahead,
contact.
go
Thing. Cool.
Yeah, so since people are talking about Witcher 2, I'll put in the shameless plug here. Go run that game. It's, if you want a decent story, very linear gameplay in a false open world or a fake open world, go run that game. There's no runners and any runs to verify on leaderboard. If you want an easy world record, go run that game.
If you want a hard world record, run this game.
I mean, the times aren't very optimized for this game yet. They're decently optimized, but there's still a long way to go.
I'm gonna sit and optimize, oh believe me.
Yes.
Right now there's escape because you can see there are still 4 enemies outside the walls of the house. But if we kill the enemies here and the particular way, let's say, we will get so far away from them that they will actually not aggro you when they spawn, which is hefty and really nifty to do. You don't need to fight so many enemies. And you don't have bombs like alchemy runs because it's the old patch, and alchemy is really slow if you don't have that many ability points. So
yeah, this run is actually not super optimized. It could be more optimized. And a good example is that Kazik beat my record by 2 minutes, like within 3 or 4 days when I set it. So there's a good example.
I still a 2-minute time loss there because I stopped the game twice.
Yes. And so I was going to talk about something I completely forgot. So to go talk about for a second. Oh yeah, okay, alchemy. Here we go.
Yeah.
So the reason there's no alchemy here is because we tested it. It's a lot slower because you have to go find some crafting diagrams, make a bomb, and then equip your skill points. So it's actually a lot slower in the current and old patch to do alchemy. So that's why there's no alchemy route in any % current or old patch. But there is an alchemy route.
The team combat route is not that much slower, so yeah, it's just means.
So we can actually skip the second floor of that house there. There's no need to kill those
Because
guys.
if we go too far away from them, they don't get aggroed on us.
The door will still open if we don't have them killed. But we still have to kill the 3 guys upstairs, and the rest down here.
So how difficult is it to like move around quickly through the world at the speed that you're running without just slamming into things constantly?
Well, from experience,
it's hard.
it's very, very hard.
Bumping still in some things, and yeah, it comes down to muscle memory of how little you can press a button to make sure Geralt moves only this far away to the right or to the left.
Yes, and just general movement and knowledge of the general movement is very, very helpful as well. But the hardest thing in any run is just getting through doors without bonking.
Those are the biggest boss of this game, hands down.
Yeah.
Especially in Bloodbath, because well, you're so fast.
And someone just asked whether speedruns for The Witcher 1. Yes, there are. It's a whole separate community. So I think the Discord's on there.
DLC is not the actual main story.
Yeah. The speedruns of The Witcher 1. Go check out their community.
And a couple of minutes, so.
We're all family, even though we're not very connected between the 2 games, but that's also not a very competitive game. I think The Witcher 3 is the most ran game, and even that's not very ran. Just go check the leaderboards. It's not that many runners.
You can run it, please do.
Especially active runners. We don't have that many, so.
Yeah, feel free to join the Discord. Check us out on speedrun.com. Again, fun community, fun to play The Witcher.
Now there's an important quest because we're gonna not only be the fastest Witcher in the world, we're gonna be the fastest actor in the world because we're gonna act in a play. Priscilla, our friend, is gonna set up a play to drag out the Doppler Dudu from the crowd somewhere because he's hiding. He's changed his appearance because that's how Dopplers work, and we have to somehow drag him out of there. So what we do is we do a play about Dopplers, so we make sure that he will actually show up, and we will actually gonna be a part of it. We're gonna be an actor on a stage, and it's actually important to do the correct dialogue lines because if you do, then you get more money, and we need money. It's not that much; it's only 50, but it's still optimized.
So you just saw an example there of getting through doorways. How hard it is.
So we have to choose actors for the play. Fortunately, the best possible outcome is just me spamming 1. Which is really convenient, but right now I have to press 2, 1, 2, 2, and 1. I have the notes right up because I don't remember all the dialogues correctly.
Yeah, there's a lot of dialogue that you have to remember, but eventually you get it down in your head.
You may wonder that remembering dialogues in this game is really hard. It's actually not that much because most of the time you just click 1. The first option is fortunately the one that is connected to the actual main plotline, and not the side things you can talk with the other people. So you can just mash 1 and usually it will get you through most of the conversations. There are only a little of them that you actually have to think about what you're clicking.
So now we just brought him up. We found Dandelion, or we kind of found him. So the purpose of the play there was to equip a Dudu. He's a Doppler, so basically that's the guy that can transform into any other person that he wants. So you might have realized early on, like when we first got to Novigrad, we killed Menge, who was the prison warden. So and then we asked Dudu to transform the Menge to get Dandelion transferred to another prison where he would be executed. But instead we're gonna.
Oh, I'm inside of the lake. Okay, I'm just gonna swim.
Yeah, he went the wrong way. But anyway, yeah. So we transferred him to Oxenford, but we intercepted the wagon to free him. But now he ran off, so we got to go find him. Obviously, we know where he is. So. But he made a little oops.
I don't need to mark it on the map, also, even though I got lost a little bit.
Because he made a little oopsie
I
there.
haven't developed the game properly. I'm sorry. I'm still on a good pace though.
He took a midnight swim.
Geralt was getting a little tired from running around at this speed, so he just needed the cold water to wake him up.
I'm talking about water. Let's hydrate. Stay hydrated, guys. Okay, so this part is really important. I have to kill the guy in a particular way here, so that he faces the door, not Dandelion, so I can actually loot him up properly. Because he has a great sword that I'm gonna pick up, and he has a a ruby that I'm gonna sell for 300 monies, and I need monies because we need like 1,500 crowns, and the ruby sells for 300, so that's like 20% already.
So
So
again,
getting a bit more than a ruby is a
yes. We're going to be
Also-
using the dash from Celeste to get through the section here.
Yeah.
But he got trapped.
The game really wants you to go for a horse, but we're just like, nope, dashing is still faster. And it's not even the old patch thing, you can do this in the current one as well.
Yeah, so the problem, you might see him, he's going sometimes the wrong way. So if you're too close to an enemy, Siri actually target that enemy and dash towards the enemy, and that sometimes is annoying, especially in that section where there's a lot of enemies off to the side who will kind of annoy you. So you kind of have to stop dashing, is walk around through the gate and then continue to dash.
Okay, and that being said, we've completed the Novigrad part of the game, and we are going to Skellige, the shortest part.
Yeah, say hi to Dandelion. For once, we actually see him for real instead of in dreams.
Yeah, and say bye to Dandelion.
Yeah,
Because we're not gonna see him for a long while again.
Oh yeah,
Now I think
we should have mentioned at the beginning of the run that we would not see Yennefer until now, but now we're going to see Yennefer, so hooray.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I have enough money, but let's just pray it for RNG just to be sure.
Yeah,
okay, I have more.
Since this is old patch, you see the menuing is different than what you might be used to in 1.31.
Already, when I played the current patch, I'm really weirded out, you know?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. So yeah, this is partly why we get so much money. We need 1,000 to get Skellige, and then another 500 to buy some maps at a shop. And what those maps will do is it will unlock some fast travel points, so we don't have to go unlock them ourselves. And we explained this earlier, so if you're just joining us, there you go. That's why we need the money.
And yes, we know you can take the money back after the ship crashes, because ship crashes, spoilers.
Yeah.
We know, it's just not that fast, actually.
It's not worth it.
But you have no idea how many people actually told us, you know you can collect that money? Yes, but we don't need it.
Well, you can collect the money.
Yeah. But someone just saying Skellige is not great because there's a lot of smuggler caches. That's the reason why we don't do Skellige 100%, although we could. Because it's so annoying. Although we might, we never know. We already do White Orchard 100%.
Yeah, going backwards because I'm getting the silver sword, which is really good. A big upgrade from what we have now. Because for now, we still had the basic Witcher weapon that we got at the beginning of the game.
Okay, by far, Skellige has the best music in the game, other than Priscilla's song. By far. Don't at me about that.
Skellige has a really good soundtrack, I have to say.
Yeah,
the entire of the Witcher 3 is really good.
Yeah, the entire game is really good, but Skellige is my favorite.
But we don't spend too much time here. Because out of the three main places we go to, because there are three main places, Velen, Novigrad, and Skellige. Skellige is the shortest one. And I was really surprised by how little things you actually need to do in order to get to the end of the game. Normally, you wouldn't think that you actually need to do 3 quests, or 4 actually, in the Skellige to progress the game next to the next, section.
And I don't know, do you run this on the lowest graphic settings? Or...
Yeah, one of the lowest ones.
Yeah, so the reason we do that is mainly for just loading screen times, because if you're in Velen, you might realize playing casually how long the load is if you die, or if you go to a different section of the game. Thankfully, in other parts of the game, the loading screen's pretty fast, so if you die, you're not really losing that much time. And that's kind of why we play on the lowest graphic settings to reduce loading times. But the game still
this game is on the lowest graphics, and it's still good.
Yes, exactly. This game still looks fantastic on the lowest graphics. And I mean, arguably, you could run it on higher graphic settings if you wanted.
You technically could, but the reflections are a little bit too much to me.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just running the game in the low settings. The too much reflections are a no-no for me.
So here we just gotta wait for Yennefer, because if we remember back to Kira, if we go too fast, then the quest won't update and we cannot.
Yeah.
And there we go. That's again what he did. He went too fast, and Yennefer didn't update. So yeah, try again. And then we just gotta kill some bears and wolves here. The main strategy here is to go directly for the bears and kill wolves in between. Because if you once you kill all 4 bears, the cutscene will start fading out. And yeah, these bears and wolves really do basically no damage. They might do like 1 or 2 HP, but they can't kill you because this is technically a dream.
Also, a nice cool thing: you faint and then you get back up pretty fast. That's because every single animation of Geralt is sped up, including the fainting animation. So you should end the fainting animation during the fade out, as you have seen here. But because everything is sped up, you actually finish it in the middle of the fade
Yeah,
out,
so when you're done
him
fainting, you get back up. You can actually run around before the screen fades out. So I think that's very nice. Little swag strat. Doesn't save any time, of course, but might as well go for it. And then we got another. This is just like the golem earlier on with Kira. Same thing, but a little bit more difficult. Go behind him and then just hit him as much, do as many crits as you can. There you go. And then we're just going to be sitting here for another 45 seconds while Yennefer teleports us, because she's pretty slow.
You're supposed to find the way out. The best way out here is just waiting and doing nothing, because
Yeah, spoiler alert, you cannot get out of here no matter what. You gotta wait for her.
Kira is worst. Even though you have to wait for Yennefer.
And the reason why we just did that segment was to steal a mask. That's gonna help us for the next part of a quest with Yennefer.
Yes, more lore stuff that you gotta be aware of.
I didn't read the maps. Okay, I forgot to read the maps.
Yeah,
it's a good thing I've realized.
You have to actually read the maps before the signposts come up, and you hit.
Yeah, now
and there you are. So this is kind of where the routes differ a little bit. So usually I would grab a place of power here to skip a boss, but because he's probably not going to be doing that because he's a boss and he likes to do stuff a little bit more risky.
Yeah.
I'll point it out when that boss skip's coming up.
Okay,
yeah.
we are.
For anyone asking in chat, yeah, this speed glitch is a specific to version 1.06 and before. It got patched in 1.07, so that's why the menus look different.
So this is the place where the Japanese language actually speeds up over the English quite immensely, because you're not supposed to get out of here unless Yennefer finishes her dialogue, and the dialogue is the fastest in Japanese.
Again, it's only a 4-second time save. He's very dedicated.
I am. And also, one funny thing that you can do here, I can pull up the mask, and if I block Yennefer here on the way, she can technically soft lock, but if I block her here, there is a high chance that she won't. As you can see, the dialogue actually goes here. Because technically, you're supposed to watch the scene after taking up the mask with Yennefer, but it only triggers after you see it and talk to Yennefer. So what you do is you run to the scene, watch it, make sure that Geralt actually watches it, and we know it by him putting up the mask, and go back to Yennefer to talk about it. This way she never glitches out. I found this out only like 2 days before I did my world record run. And as you can see, I have to wait for all the dialogues. If I go too far away from Yennefer here, the dialogue will cancel. This is a quick one, so we can go back to Yennefer, and the dialogue starts again. If I'm lucky enough, she won't zip back, because usually here she teleports back for no reason at all.
I gotta show off. I gotta show off the log glitch.
Yeah, of course, it's great. Geralt is a proud Slav, because it's a Polish game, so he likes squatting. If we stand on log here, that when Yennefer is pulling this up, we break our legs. Ow. It was half a squat, but it still counts.
But were his heels touching the ground?
No.
Oh.
That's why it was half a squat.
Fair.
It wasn't a full one.
So we're coming up to an important skip in the run. So we just got some cutscenes here. But so you're normally supposed to go in the garden. You're supposed to go kill some wolves and then do a little puzzle where you hit some levers and all that to open some gates. We're gonna skip all of that and instead just go directly to the series segment. So what's gonna happen here is we're gonna jump over some invisible walls. It's not that difficult. You can do this in the current patch, and if you want to do it casually, you can. It's not that difficult. So you can see him
It's
try
harder
to.
because
Yeah, it's harder.
have
It's
no-
harder. There's an invisible wall there that keeps you from going around to this backside, but you just
I just went around the invisible wall, and that's the end part of the garden. I didn't do any of the puzzles
Yep.
here. I just
So none of the
finished.
puzzles in the garden are done. We can just go right to the well and go to the series segment.
You could see I had like 2 or 3 objectives at once on the screen because the game wasn't updating properly. It didn't understand that I was doing everything at once.
So fun fact: CD Projekt Red actually said the speedrun would take 25 hours, but they were way off. Takes 2 hours.
25 hours.
25
hours.
Yes.
25 hours, yeah.
They actually,
100% my team.
yes, they actually tested that in their studio. Obviously, we beat that by a lot. This is 2 hours, and then
They need better QA test. So now we have another series segment. It's a bath segment. There may be some female genitals, or at least female breasts. So if you are sensitive to them, make sure to close your eyes for like.
someone's asking if they patch this glitch, will the speedrun be dead? No, because first of all, they did patch this glitch, and we have 2 separate categories: one with this glitch, which is 2 hours 15 minutes, as we're showing off now, and then one without, which is current patch, and that's about 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay,
So-
the female breast part has ended. You may
They
open your eyes now.
did not patch this glitch, or they did patch this glitch, but the speedrun's not dead. It will never be dead.
The speedrun without this glitch is only 50 minutes slower.
Yeah.
Because you can do other optimizations on the way. And because I'm playing on the old patch, I sometimes catch myself on saying, "Wow, it's a really annoying glitch. I would like if they patched it." And I'm like, "Yeah, they did. I'm playing old patch. Well, good to be me."
If you're interested in writing this category, we actually have a really good guide that I made myself on downloading the old patch, because it's kind of annoying if you don't have the retail version. You just use Steam and the depot downloader function. And there, I have a whole guide on that, but if you're interested, go check that out.
Yeah, so now we don't know how to do the old patch from the gold version, but other ones, which is retail and Steam, are fine. Oh, I said with myself. Great.
If you spam your keyboard, sometimes it'll work. But it looks like it's not. But it looks like you're gonna have to restart his game there.
No, I think it's a timed dialogue. Okay, so I'm fine.
Yeah. So what happened there? Yeah. So what happened there is that he dashed into the cutscene. We kind of touched on this earlier. And if you dash into the cutscene, the game gets in this weird state that you think that you're playing and controlling Siri, but that you're in the cutscene as well. So the game kind of soft locks there. But again, thankfully that dialogue is a timed dialogue. So after the timer runs out, we can just continue on.
Yeah, because you cannot choose the options, because if you click 1 and 2, you just switch between 2 swords. And you cannot go to the menu because you're in the dialogue, so the only way to go out of it, if it's not a timed dialogue, is to actually just reload the game. Or quit the game and pull it on.
Yeah, again, as we said earlier, there's another point where this happens pretty early on into the run, but we can easily reset if that actually happens.
So, run almost ruined, but we're still fine. We're still fine.
So why are we using a horse? Because we don't have the speed glitch with Siri because she doesn't have access to the crossbow. That's one of the only parts where we have to use a horse, other than like the beginning and some other races here and there.
The game has also disabled you from unmounting from the horse. So a little fun fact: I've tried many ways to get off that horse, and it's hard.
Which is funny because in other parts, when a game forces you to use a horse, you can actually get off. This is, I think, the only possible, except the races, this is the only place you actually have to use a horse.
And we can touch about that later on. So yeah, now we're done with Skellige. We will be seeing this island later, at the very end. Oh, so what he tried to do there, while so there's a glitch like where you can punch immediately as you come out of a signpost and roll twice. And that kind of skips the animation of Geralt walking out of the signpost, and it saves a couple seconds each time. It's not worth going for.
If
an
you
old
use
patch.
time code, you cannot run for a short period of time, but it still takes your stamina if you try to run, but you cannot, so it's great.
It's not worth going on old patch because you go so fast, doesn't make any difference. But on current patch, it actually makes a difference. Saves 3 to 4 seconds every time, so that adds up over the course of the run. And there's a lot of signposts you have to teleport to.
And here I wasn't a fast Witcher because there was a big transition from me going from Skellige to Velen, so yeah, it was faster to actually try it.
And then we have an unskippable horse race here. It's possible to do this horse race in a 1 stamina bar. Kind of difficult, but it's possible to do, so it looks like he's going to be going for that. And then we got some RNG coming up. The worst RNG in the game. So you have the ballast here after this race in the cutscene. So it has a 1 in 8 chance of not flying up.
You've actually
Well, that's what I've been told by the runners earlier on. But yeah, 1 in 8 chance of
I've
not
never heard
flying
of
up.
this.
Yeah. And I think that's right. The number might be round, but yeah, 1 in 8 chance. If it does fly up, you can just easily reload the game and it wastes like 20 seconds. And then when the game loads up again, it won't fly. So let's see if we get good RNG here. Usually on world record runs, we get bad RNG, but we'll see.
It's not a world record run, so I have to.
It is a marathon run, so it's wish for good RNG here.
Of course, the bad one.
Yeah, of course, they had to fly up. So I guess we'll load up the game.
And reloading the game resets the script, so he won't do anything for like first 2 or 3 seconds, so we can attack him, preventing him from flying up.
Yes. That's really only part of the RNG. There's a couple other sections of RNG, but mainly it's just that. So this run doesn't have that much RNG.
Come on!
Looks like he didn't hit him fast enough there, so it did fly up anyway.
That happens to me only once in my lifetime, or twice now, I guess.
I've gotten close before, but he's never flown up in the middle of a fight. So, thankfully for me.
Actually weird, because... I mean, not weird, but hard, because Ciri doesn't have a crossbow, so you cannot shoot the Basilisk down, and the only way for you to actually make him go down is by attacking him at the proper time, which I got, thankfully. You cannot practice it that many times, because, well, you usually don't get the part of him flying off at all.
I wouldn't consider this marathon luck, because this is not a marathon.
I was saying marathon run, so...
It's still like a showcase, you know?
Yeah. You never know, you might see Marathon Run coming up in the next couple months. You never know.
My only chance to actually be on the GDQ's channel. I'll call it a marathon run.
It does count. You've done your fair share of ESI runs, so.
Hey Rail,
So-
do you have any questions on the runs or lore or what's happening right now? Something that we might have missed? And anything like that we could touch up on?
I'm following this pretty well so far. I'm very curious about like how it... My mind is going to very silly places and like what people's reactions are to Geralt zooming around like this. You know? Trying to have fun thinking of what people must think to see the Witcher run up, slay something at Mach speed and then run off.
Yeah, it's always fun just watching Geralt zooming everywhere. I love how Twitch chat kind of mentions Sonic everywhere. So it's some cool new stuff we learned. So I like it.
So we should probably mention, now we're in Kaer Morhen, so vibes back to Witcher 1. So this first part here, we have to do certain quests for Yennefer, Lambert, and Eskel, and Lambert and Eskel are some of our friends. We won't spoil the story for you, but we'll point it out. So yeah, so we start with Eskel first. We have to kill this bird thing. I don't know the name.
Forktail, it's on the screen.
Forktail. Yes, I can't see it. That's a little of a blurry for me. But anyway, yeah. So he flies up. We have to go into this cave and finish him off, and then that's done. We're done with Eskel. So we're gonna go do Lambert next. And there's actually a horse race that we're gonna skip because we don't need to. We don't need to go in the horse race.
Click two.
Click two.
Okay, I did this so many times that I actually remember to click 2 right now. Okay, so we did the quest for the the quest for Esco. Right now we're gonna do quest for Lambert, and there's gonna be a nifty skip you can actually do yourselves when you play casually. And I found it out only after trying to speedrun this game, so it actually broadens my horizons when
We'll try not to
exploring the game.
spoil it until we get up to it. It's pretty within a minute though.
We go to Kermoren first. Entrance is a little far away. You have to go through many places. Okay, so now we're gonna trigger the quest with Lambert here. I'm gonna talk to him. And we're just gonna say, okay, let me talk to Yennefer first.
If you're a fan of Yennefer, look away right now and mute your audio. You're not gonna like what you see. Alright, you got the good dialogue option there?
I have to stop for a second. Okay, so we get angry at Yennefer. So we make Yennefer angry so that she teleports us. But thankfully, she teleports us in the exact spot we're supposed to meet with Lambert. So that's great.
If you do the wrong dialogue there, she won't teleport you, and you have mostly just a reset point. But normally you have to go down like the mountain, and it's kind of annoying. You can die and stuff like that. And then you have some Dranos here after that. Normally these are over leveled, but we can just clear them out pretty easily. And then here you're supposed to use the boat, and normally you do, but since we're super speed, we don't have to use the boat.
The good thing is the developers actually thought about it, and they made Lambert say the dialogue. Well, I'll stick to the boat. You can swim through, because it makes no sense when you do this. Would you do this casually? Like, would you run through without using a boat if you're not that fast? But apparently they thought about it and put the dialogue in the game, which is pretty OP, I should say. Ah, okay, wrong way, but wrong dialogue, but it doesn't matter. Did they actually skip the dialogue of Lambert here? Okay, that's new.
Very interesting. I've never seen that.
Okay. We found a 5-second skip. Good to know. Because I did a wrong dialogue option, but apparently this makes you skip the next cutscene that Lambert was supposed to pull you up in the cave to help you, but he did not. So that's cool. Okay. We find some new glitches during, not glitches, but new skips during the hotfix. New world record incoming, I guess.
How much of a time save is that?
2 seconds.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, you skipped the thing.
Maybe because it's easy, it's easy to fall down after you do the part, so
Okay.
it may take even more. Because after the
almost
cutscene, you're
worth-
positioned in a weird way, so if you
Almost
click
worth
the incorrect
changing
button, you
everything
fall.
to Japanese.
I don't think it is, but maybe. I mean, I did the run with Japanese and it didn't happen, and now I switched to dialogues and it did happen, so I guess it has to be that.
Oh, it could be.
Yep, so now we're doing Lambert. We're gonna do Yennefer's side of the quest. Pretty easy. To find these bombs that are annoying her telephone. Yes, they did have telephones back then when this game takes place.
They are called megascopes.
Yes, but they do basically the same thing. It's like FaceTime for your iPhone, if you have it. Or if you use Zoom for work, for example. It's just like that.
So now we made the phone call and we have UMA. UMA is the abbreviation of the ugliest man alive, which I didn't know for the longest time, because in Polish it's also called UMA, which makes no sense because it's not the same abbreviation, but whatever. So we know that UMA is actually cursed. It's a human, apparently, and he knows something about Ciri, so we have to make sure to bring him back to human again. So we do very risky strats in-game, not by us, by Geralt and the crew. by using the same trials that every Witcher goes through, which normally would kill a man. But fortunately, Uma is actually not a man. It's an elven wizard turned into ugliest man alive. So
His name's Avalok. You might know.
we're gonna do some quests for Avalok later. This Avalok, he hid Ciri on the Isle of Misfits, which is an enchanted island that we can only go through using a boat, which is really annoying because it's the only reason we have to use a boat to get there is because after you go through the boat, there is a cutscene with Geralt on the boat. And you cannot go there without the boat, because this cutscene would make no sense. So the game forces you to use a boat, which is really slow.
Yes, we tried to get rid of the boat, and
Also, I didn't die.
It's very
I'm so
close,
good.
but yeah, we tried to skip the boat, but we couldn't find out a way. So we have to use the boat. Sad. Thankfully, we can teleport to the harbor very close by to the checkpoint, so thankfully we can just teleport there with the boat. But yeah, other than that, we have to use the boat.
Because I still have slow health. Okay. Where's my crossbow? Oh, I got unequipped everything.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem with this section. After you're done with the Carry Morhen section, it unequips all your armor and all that, or your swords. So you gotta equip them again. Yes, if you're just joining in, you're asking why we didn't run the DLCs. We did run the DLCs. We had a very close race in Blood and Wine, and we did Hearts of Stone too. Go watch the VODs.
Okay, so now we go to the best section of the game, the boat section. We ride the boat. At least the view is nice. Remember this view because you're gonna see it at the end of the game. Because the end game actually takes place on Skellige as well. By the way, if anyone thought that me saying everyone will ask how Geralt is so fast is wrong, I look at the chat from time to time, and every time I look at the chat, I see the Mobot command. So I think I was right.
I have to say you were wrong in that you underestimated how frequent it was going to be.
Makes sense. Okay, maybe chat is just trolling, and they asked this on purpose.
So right here, the game asks us to save because it's an important part of the story. Now we're not going to do that. There's no need to.
Why would I? Saving?
Yeah. There's no need to.
Not...
We already did the one save we need 8 minutes in, right?
Yeah, the only save we need.
So it looks like he's at very low health. Yeah, I was going to say you should probably meditate, and he just did, so that's good.
I also need some potions here, so... I think went the wrong way, but I'm gonna save it anyway. Yeah, I saved it, okay. I think. Yeah, I did. Maybe? It's a fog here, so it's hard to see. Okay, I did. It's actually maybe even faster than I normally use. Okay, I have to do a mental note about this.
So here we have a fiend. Kind of annoying. So this is a small portion of RNG, so you want the fiend to be away from the body that you're going to inspect.
Oh, he is far away. Great.
Yeah. So that's good. Because if he's close by and you go to inspect the body, you're going to get into combat, and you cannot... From what I know, you can't outrun the fiend, so...
The only way for you to
have to kill him.
Make sure to investigate, not kill him, but you can go out of combat, lure him to the other end by shooting him from the crossbow, and then investigating again.
Yeah, it's kind of a small time waster if you don't get it, but that's alright. So, premise is we gotta
right
find... we have to find the three dwarves here. We just saw the one. Yeah, we inspected the body on the ground. That's one of them. We got this guy here who's so incompetent he fell off the cliff. And we have one last one who has narcolepsy. So he likes to sleep. And that's very detrimental to the sleep.
You have to escort him, and he's gonna sleep on the way because it's so funny. And when you are Super Geralt and you have to escort a slow dwarf that's sleeping on his way, it's getting annoying from time to time.
I'm just gonna point out ladder strats here. Yeah, we have to wait for this guy. There's nothing we can do because we have to get all three doors and report on all three doors to the guys in the hut. So
killing those guys first, because usually when Gaspard, this guy, goes down the tower, he goes down so fast, he actually is still sitting on the ground instead of standing, because he was sitting up there. He's trying to match our speed, so he's sitting down because he went up too fast. So in order for him to stand up, we either have to wait or trigger his being afraid animation by fighting with anything here. And we still have to fight with those foglets on the way, so we can just take them out earlier and make sure that this guy actually stands up.
This part is very, very slow. Very annoying too. Makes me rage every time.
It's also dialogue dependent, and it's another place that Japanese is faster. Also, I specifically went on the left side of the boulder so he wouldn't go on the right side and get stuck, but he still did. Great.
Very good AI programming right there.
And apparently it's just for this guy. Other people that you escort are pretty good at following you. This guy is just really bad. I don't know, maybe just this area. And this area is Enchanted Island. And you know it's enchanted for 2 reasons. You cannot open them up because it's empty. And the other thing, if you try to meditate, you cannot actually meditate. But if you open the menu, it counts as a meditation. So if I go in and out, I have full health. And all my potions are replenished again.
Yeah, you can see the dialogue in the bottom left right there. And you can do that in current patch too, although you can't open the map in current patch. It just gives you one error. No, in current patch you can't. It'll just give you an error on the screen when you try.
Okay. I like the blank map though. It gives you a feel that you have no idea what's happening.
Yeah. If you use the dev console, you can actually warp back to this place later on in the game. It's kind of fun to come explore.
But I guess it's good that you don't get to explore it because technically Wild Hunt invades it, so
Yeah.
spoiler, but it's gonna happen in like 1 minute, so and now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we all waited for, or you all waited for, we actually meet Ciri for the first time.
But we don't meet her for the first time. We saw her in the tutorial, but we skipped over that too fast.
Yeah, we meet the current age Ciri.
It's the first time we actually see her, yeah. Like the current her. Well, Geralt's moving so slowly because we have to wait for the narcoleptic guy to go.
Again, my equipment was pulled off, and funnily enough, only the crossbow, the only thing that makes me fast, was pulled out from my equipment.
Yeah, at this point of the game just doesn't want you to go so fast, so it unequips your crossbow.
So now we have to fight Wild Hunt for the first time. We want to lure them to Kermoren.
We did learn. You can skip the cutscene that explained that.
Yeah, okay. So sorry for me talking about dialogues here, but I have to make sure I actually hit the proper options. Because if I do incorrect ones, it's gonna make my life a little bit harder. Oh, equip it is, come on! I'm not that good at menuing because I don't run the DLCs.
So this is Battle of Kaer Morhen. So there's a couple phases to this big fight here. First phase, he has an infinite amount of bombs. You got to close some portals. This is where you learn you can close portals with Yurden, but we just close portals with bombs because it's faster and we can do it from a distance.
But the faster way in the old patch is just, instead of zooming, just walk into the portal, use the bomb, and that's it.
Yeah. And then now, Ciri was supposed to stay in the keep, but she's not a little girl, and she didn't do that. So she's coming out to fight with us, because the whole premise of the section is to not have Ciri get captured again by the Wildlife. But she doesn't listen to any of us.
Well, I got really good spawns here. That's nice.
Nice. Yeah, if they all spawn like in one group, you can just take all of them out in one shot.
Also, funny dismounting animation.
Yep. So bye, Roach. We don't need you. I guess we'll let Roach
Also,
die.
yeah, Chris
in the
was
shower.
over us by doing a meteor shower and killing us actually. So great.
Yeah, you can actually die if you get hit 2 or 3 times from those meteor showers. So he's gonna come up and jump up those boxes, hit the lever instead of
because
all the way
the tree is
around.
blocking you.
We're very sorry to Lambert, but we hate him so much because he's very slow and annoying, so we're gonna kill him off.
Yeah, actually, you're supposed to save Lambert from the enemies, but because
we
it's
don't.
faster to not kill them and run away, we leave him, and because of that, he dies. So, Bible thumbs and Fs in chat for Lambert.
Yeah, it's a trend with most Witcher games is that the worst ending is usually the fastest. That goes for Blood and Wine, Hearts of Stone, and also goes for 80%. The fastest ending is always the worst one, but there's 3 main endings in 80% if you haven't played the game.
Though the good ending, quote unquote, is slower only by a minute, because it's the epilogue that matters.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna do that. We gotta save as many frames as possible.
Hey, if we're running in another language to save 4 seconds, you betcha we're gonna save a minute.
Yeah, Raku knows what we're talking about. So here we're using bonds and Yurden to close some portals. Trying to close them without getting hit. Then we got 2 more here.
Okay, it closed up. Cool.
There we go. And now we're done with that. Well, there's I should clarify the endings. There's a bad ending, and then there's 2 good endings, but they're 2 different things. I won't spoil it because you should really play the game and get all 3 endings. So, but yeah, we're gonna be doing the bad ending because it's the fastest.
I actually never got one of the good ones because it's so lame.
I think I've got one of the good ones in a casual playthrough a long time ago.
I mean, my first PB was actually on a good ending, and I got so pissed because the good ending wastes a minute, and I died in one of the fights that cost me half a minute, and I was 1.5 minutes behind world record at this point.
So someone's asking if any of us read the books. Me personally, I started the first book but never finished it, so I probably
I
should
read
read
them 2 or 3 times, all of them.
You're Polish because that's a big thing in Poland, but I'm an American, so.
I'm currently reading them. I finished the first one, working on the second one. So far, I like it. The American translation has some typos, but it's a very easy read. Actually, I think it's something I read on my travels. So it's pretty nice and short. Each book, I like them.
Yeah, I have to get into reading it, and this is actually a good time for me to start reading them, but too busy, and Amazon shipping is way too slow at this point.
So remember when I told you games ripping off from The Witcher? Assassin's Creed included. Because the Leap of Fate was obviously ripped from, Witcher 3 to Assassin's Creed, the first one that came after Witcher 3, obviously.
Yeah, there's no timeline issues there at all.
This is why this game is considered one of the best RPGs of all time. And every
Obviously,
RPG after it was trying to copy off.
They even predicted Assassin's Creed with The Witcher 2 because there is an Easter egg about Assassin missing out on the pile of hay.
Yes.
But Assassin's Creed didn't think there because it was copied after Witcher 3. It makes sense. They predicted everything. They ripped off ideas everywhere.
So earlier in the run, I was talking about differences in routing here. So this is where this comes into play, because if you have an extra skill point, you can equip Spin Attack, as you might have saw in Blood and Wine and Hearts of Stone. Or Blood and Wine only. So what you can do is get behind this boss here and just use Spin Attack and just kill this boss really, really quickly. And if you don't do that, it's much harder. So he's not going to be showing it off here because he does a different route than I do, but I like to show it off because it's just an easier way to kill this boss. Because this boss is over leveled and will do a lot of damage. Because we are under leveled after all.
It's bad. Don't kill me, please, 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 please. Okay, it's fine.
Thankfully, he got a good attack there, so the boss didn't kill him.
The first one was bad. Thank God I actually used Gwen.
If you use Quen, you can get one of attached. And then this part is notorious for clipping ledges. Let's see if he does that. Looks like he's all clear. In my runs, it's notorious that I clip a ledge there every single time and die. It's very, very...
If you fall through here, even if you do the Assassin's Creed animation, Ciri can just dive straight to a rock and die, which looks hilarious, but it's slow, obviously.
Yeah, some ledges actually don't have some ledges don't die. You don't die if you clip them, but some other ledges, you will die.
Oh, this is so
It
loud.
all depends on the ledge. So just coming into this boss fight with series, so we're going to be going for the Whispers and the Weavers, because those two can teleport, but the Brewers can't, so that's why we're going for them.
Really, really bad right now.
Yeah, we're gonna target them. Try to kill them off first, because the Brewers cannot teleport, thankfully.
They go off teleporting at once. Come on,
Yeah.
just...
But if they both teleport at once, it's best to attack the Brewers until they reappear, just to get some hits on her. Looks like he's almost done. They're all very low health.
Come on, just... Okay, that's one done.
2, and then this is the last one right here.
Okay.
Alright.
I'm notorious for dying in this fight, so...
And then now we're back in control of Geralt. So, premise is we have to... There's 3 bosses of Wild Hunt. We're going to kill 2 of them, and then we're going to get 1 of them on our side. This is the first boss. This fight casually, and current patch is very annoying. But thankfully we can just spam left click and kill him pretty fast.
Oh, what? You got into second phase? That's the first time it's happened to me.
Yeah, so this is why it's really bad in current patch, because he gets him into his 3rd phase there. And he teleports around, and it's kind of annoying. But he almost died there, but he didn't, so thank God for that.
It's never... I don't know how this phase works, because I never had it, so...
Yeah, he kind of teleports around. It's kind of annoying to hit him, and you have a good chance to die. But if you deal a lot of damage quick enough on the first phase, you can just skip that phase entirely. That's exactly what we did.
But you know why the Imlerith fight, the guy we almost killed me, was really bad? Because he has a big shield. And as we've mentioned, enemies with shields are the worst enemies in the game. Because every time you hit a shield, you get a little bit of a stun. And when you are stunned, you cannot do anything. And you get hit, and it can go over and over again. And if he has a big shield, the shield has actually a very big hitbox. So there is a really small window for you to actually attack him.
So yeah, we get ahead of Avlok here and use the crossbow to run past him. And this strat is very...
Geralt running so fast, type exclamation point Geralt in the chat.
That actually doesn't work, only works for mods, unfortunately. So ask a mod to type that in for you. But yeah, we do that trick with the current patch, but instead of running so fast, we just roll all the way to Avlok here, and then we gotta kill some giant crabs.
Okay, and they didn't spawn in the usual spot. Okay, I guess I was too close. And as you can see, Geralt really likes to pull down his salt in this fight because the sand grabs are too far away from each other. So I'm constantly unseating and seating it myself to make sure I actually am equipped just before the engagement of the fight starts.
Yep, so for people asking, again, we are playing Japanese because it's a 4-second time save, because Yuki is very dedicated. We are on the lowest video quality to save as much time as possible when loading. And then for game difficulty, we are playing on the easiest difficulty, which is just the story, to save as much time as possible. But there is a Death March category if you're interested, but that's still in the works.
Also, you're supposed to go from hiding to from cover to cover to make sure that we don't die from the snowstorm. But because we are so fast, we can ignore it and break our legs, literally, as you can see, and run to our destination.
Skip the whole thing. It's not.
What did you do to your legs?
When Super Geralt runs from down from a hill, his legs break for some reason, and it looks hilarious.
It looked like the same thing that happened on the log earlier.
I think he took his sword and just cut his legs so he could run faster.
If the leg is shorter, you can run faster. That's how the game works, of course.
So this is the second general of the Wild Hunt. As we were saying earlier, we have 3 generals. The second one we're actually going to convince to turn onto our side. So he'll fight for us instead. And help us with the final boss. And then we got a very long loading screen here.
Yeah, and negotiations to get him on our side were really, really tight. It was like, go on our side, no. Go on our side, no. Go on our side, okay, fine.
Yeah, anyone asking, he's talking faster. We're using auto hockey. That's why he's talking faster, because it's much better than button mashing for 3 hours straight. That's why the auto hockey exists.
Yeah,
Thank
some
you.
communities.
Also, I feel myself, that's why I talk so fast. That's literally true.
Some communities decide to allow that sort of thing. It's usually specific on games, but the Witcher community allows the auto hockey script.
Only for only the one specific script for, and only for dialogue skipping. Because it's
Yeah, there are a bunch of rules. Please make sure you read up on the rules if you're interested in running, because you can only use this script and you cannot use any other script without being approved, first of all. So, and you have to have the words auto in the top left shown, or else your run will be invalidated. So please read up on the rules if you're interested. It's all on the speedrun.com page. I should probably link it in chat. I'll do that now if anyone's interested.
Okay, so right now we are doing some fetch quests for all of our friends that are together just before the final fight with the Wild Hunt, because our previous final fight wasn't final enough, and we have to do the final fight.
So this section here is running. Yeah, we're just running around. Siri wants to thank some people that helped her on her journey, so that's where we're just gonna go run around and thank her and thank their friends.
Yeah, I got lost for a sec.
Yeah,
now we're gonna go, because we're gonna go to the Yennefer. Because the Yennefer is one of the taverns which is on the way. By the way, the chase is over. Guy is trying to run away from us. I mean, come on, we are super witchers. There is no other way. And that Japanese voice in the background was Siri telling us, okay, then we're gonna meet later, I guess. Because there is a timer, and if you run around for too long, Siri will actually teleport to the next destination, as she does now. So it's good for us, so we can just do a quest that's on the way for Yennefer, and then we can go back to finishing with the Siri one. So right now we did do the bad choice for this quest, because if we want to steal the horses, it's an additional quest. We don't want this, so we just beat the crap out of this guy, which is pretty nifty because, you know, we're fast. We're basically Saitama at this point. So we just giving him the old one too, and the Siri quest is completed. Now we go for the Triss one.
Yes, so that's 2 of the 4 objectives in the final preparations done. We got 2 more here. He's going to be heading over to the bathhouse and recruiting Philippa Eilhart. And there's a nice little glitch here, which is not dev intentional, that we'll talk about. But first, we're going to talk to Triss to enable to start the quest.
We talked to Zoltan earlier before starting this quest. This is because it is gonna help us in the next one with Yennefer. We're supposed to do the prison heist, as you've mentioned in the previous one. And we're actually gonna break our friend from the prison. And Zoltan will help us because he'll make most of the guards drunk. So it's gonna be easier for us to actually enter them.
So yeah, we're just heading into here. We gotta fight some people over here. We don't have to take care of the guys on the top floor. We don't need to. The gates are already open there. But we do have to kill those 2 guys and talk to Bart here.
It's really important to kill the guy on the right first, because he has a shield, and enemies with shields are really...
If you're fast enough, you can just spam him. And this is a good, not dev intentional. The game gives you the rough sword here. It gives you the steel sword instead of the silver sword. It's a little fun fact about the game right there. And then we gotta wait until we're out of combat.
In combat mode, I have to wait for him to go out.
Yeah, he just waits until we're out of combat and we can jump up the stairs then. Then now we're done with 3 of our 4 tasks, and we're gonna do the prison break now. Running indoors is the hardest part of this run, as well as getting trapped on doorways.
Yeah, you have to say.
Yeah, you kind of went the wrong way there. No worries though.
I have 2 separate ways, and they are roughly the same. In length, at least. Okay, so now we're gonna do the Great Escape. This part is really important, because if we do some steps correctly, we may soft load the game. You have no idea how many times I've softlocked this particular mission in many different ways. It's crazy. This is a really badly made mission, poorly made mission, to say the least. So first of all, we're supposed to kill the grave hack here and examine this part. If we examine it more than 5 times, we softlock. We have to take the lever here. Please take the lever, Geralt.
Because he's moving so fast, it's so hard to.
Yeah.
And we have this animation that we can't skip, but it is faster
Okay.
than normal. And we get stuck on
Now,
everything.
if I click more than 2 times on this lever, I will softlock as well.
But then you gotta make sure you trigger the quest here.
Yeah, I know.
There we go. Good. And we got a bunch of baddies we gotta kill here. And then now we go up to the guards in the prison, and thankfully they're all drunk, so we can kill them pretty easily. Usually I go to the one on the left first, but he likes to do some other stuff.
To be honest.
Yeah. And he's gonna kill the guys in here. So it's faster to do it now than come back and do it later, because we have to come back down here. And now all the guards are drunk, so they will not attack us. It's gotta be
But if you
careful
go
for that.
close to them, they actually will.
Yeah,
And because
don't go
they
too-
will engage you and cannot pick up the loot from the prison warden, which is bad, and it happened to me once. So now I'm really cautious about it. Also, can I pick up the loot? Okay, thanks. Now they will kind of wake up and realize, okay, there is an intruder. But
At
it
this
doesn't
point,
matter for us.
it doesn't matter, because we already got the key and we opened the door.
Fortunately, we get locked into the prison cell we just opened, so it's great, because navigating as a fast Geralt is not the best idea.
And then there's a nice little hole in the wall the devs left us. The devs left us. I can't say that for some reason, so we can get right through. And I guess him top the ult in here, and he's gonna teleport us back to Novigrad. Now we're gonna say goodbye to Velen and Novigrad for the rest of the run as we head on to Skellige for the final boss fight.
But before we do it, we also have the last dialogue.
Yes.
With
And
Leon
in
the
current
Talker.
patch, the game likes to crash after this dialogue, but that doesn't happen on the old patch, so we don't have to reload the game to avoid that crash.
It happened to me in the old patch, so
Yes, it's happened to me way too many times on the current patch, but not on the old patch. But thankfully, we can just reload the game, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to us. But we don't have to do it on the old patch. It doesn't happen. If you're asking about Gwent, we already did Gwent in Hearts of Stone, so go look at that VOD.
yeah,
That's a little
actually,
bit misleading.
We played Gwent. We actually did.
If you want to find out why that's misleading, go watch the VOD.
So now we actually enter the true end game. We have a couple of quests left, and then we go to the final fight.
Wait, I thought we
Yeah,
already
so,
did the final fight.
Not quite.
The final fight, which is way different from the regular final fight we already had.
Every time you talk,
Yeah. So we have like about 2 or 3 bosses in a row, however you want to count it.
every time you
I
mention,
count this fight as a boss because it's the toughest one, to be honest.
But before we
have
get
so much-
before we get to those final boss fights, we have to do a couple more things.
every time you mention
These
final
enemies
fight,
are way above the regular level, and there are tables on our way, which are not helping, so it's not the greatest fight in the world. I'm using the strong attacks versus the human enemies, because if you use the fast attack, there is a high chance you will actually do a finisher, which is, well, slow, because it takes up animations. Also, yeah, I'm dropping frames and I cannot do much about it, I'm sorry.
Less frames, we go faster, right? That's how it works.
Yeah.
no, I don't think that's how that works. Chat really wants to know what I was trying to say.
Okay, so what were you trying to say?
I was just gonna say that every time you mention Final Fight, I start thinking of like the classic beat 'em up game Final Fight for some reason, which I guess isn't that strange given that Gerald's just been running around really fast, beating everybody up this entire time.
I mean, you technically could finish up the game with only barehanded, without any swords.
Oh,
It would actually be a fun.
yeah, it'd be very difficult.
Uh,
I mean, you could finish the whole game without a sword, but again, super difficult, and probably not going to be doing that.
the thing that almost happened is that I died. The reason is, in the old patch, when you teleport to the bridge over there, high up, I cannot even point the camera correctly, there is a slight chance you will actually spawn outside of the bridge and start falling just after you teleport. And I got spawned on the side of the bridge, which is lucky. I see that my bitrate is slowly coming back to normal, so
Yeah,
we should
it looks
be
better
better.
now. It's funny because the stuttering that was happening during the frame drops there, made it so that when it came back, it seemed like Geralt was going faster than he had been before, even though we were back to normal. It just emphasized how ridiculous this is because I've kind of just been getting used to it over the 2 hours.
You can technically get used to it, but it's still amazing, even if you run the game so many times.
That fall
Okay, I'm
animation.
spamming the crossbow because fire can be blocked here from flying for some reason.
That fall animation was fantastic.
And it's also slow, so yeah.
Yeah, and fall damage in this game, it's pretty notorious that Geralt dies from fall damage, but anytime you land in water, you're always A-okay.
So we use the you're using the crossbow here. We're using the auto aim to try to get the siren down on the ground so we can hit her. Looks like he got it there, so good for him. Then we got a skip here that he's probably not going to be going for. Yeah, he's going for it. All right. So if you time your jump correctly, you can actually jump across that gap instead of waiting for the bridge to appear. And we gotta kill this golem here so we can loot a chest with a better sword. If that chest wasn't there, we would not go out of our way to kill the golem. But that sword does a lot more damage than our current sword does. So
I think we actually have to kill Golem.
yeah,
Yeah,
No matter
because
what.
the sorcerer gets freaked out by the golem and won't open the door.
yeah. Well,
So now we
it's not
have to do a very unique logic puzzle. You have to activate 3 mirrors to spawn the crystal that you have to get. And the logic puzzle is that you have to trigger every single mirror once. 10 out of 10.
just try not to fall off. You already fell off the first time. It's way too easy to fall off the ledge at the section here.
Yeah, this section is the worst when it's getting lost and falling down because everything looks so similar, at
Okay.
least for me.
You still take fall damage. You should be fine now, but we'll see. Yeah, you get a health regen after that.
I was
So you
expecting.
could technically do this section and the next section in the order you want, but because we get the sword in this one, I do this one first.
Yeah, I think it's actually slightly faster, although I have timed it. So we're gonna go ahead over to Avalok's laboratory. There's a lot of lore here that I probably should explain, but there's too much to explain, so I won't explain it. But first off, there's a golem fight here. We're gonna do the same as always, and just cast Yrden, and then just go behind him to get crits. Whenever he wakes up.
Yeah, you have to wait for him to actually wake up.
It's pretty fast. They should make a Sonic RPG. I don't think they have. That'd be amazing.
You mean we're not watching a Sonic RPG?
Like you should make a standalone game with Sonic in it, or someone make a mod where it replaces Geralt with Sonic. I'd love that.
Oh, that would be good, yeah.
Yeah. So now we're done with that. Again, we can do the Sunstone and this quest interchangeably. But now the game asks us if we want to go to the Emperor, and we're not going to be doing that because it's slow. Thankfully, he got the right dialogue. And now we're going to head over to the final boss. Oh wait, first we actually have to rescue someone from a ship. Forgot about that.
Yeah, you also have to do the Emperor part. I think your stream is actually a little bit delayed because I'm already leaving off with Avalak.
Okay.
Because of the drops, maybe
Yeah.
it's got a little bit delayed.
Okay, interesting. Oh yeah, we just got teleported back.
Yeah, I
Okay.
refreshed it and it should be caught up again.
Cool. So now we are on the final fight.
Wait a minute, there's a final fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a final fight, and then there's a final fight after this.
Okay, first of all, we have the final fight, and then we have the final fight. Let's see if I get the glitch, actually.
So you want to spam the sword here to try to kill him before he teleports away, and he got that.
I think yeah, we did it. Great.
Some more crossbow stuff. Again, we're going to spam fast and strong attack to try to kill him as little teleports as possible. He likes to teleport away after a certain amount of time.
Yeah, if you kill the Karantir fast enough, you could see that after I attacked him 6 times by Ciri, she changed into Geralt for a second. And if you attack as Geralt during this section, 3 things can happen. Either nothing, and you will continue as you would in the Geralt part. Imlerith will be stuck into the Ciri segment and will still behave as in Ciri fight, which is way better in the old patch, because he doesn't teleport that much, he just rolls on the ground. Or he will just be in A pose, which is an abbreviation of a T pose. So,
So this is the final boss fight. There's a final boss fight. He has 3 phases. So on there, he did some sword attacks to try to get him into his 2nd phase early, which is good. And then he's gonna try to quote-unquote kill him to get into his 3rd phase.
Every time you guys...
recent fight. He has 0 HP, but of course he's cheating, so he's gonna be left with 1. I have to wait for him to go through the portal, because if I go there too quickly, I softlock, because he's not gonna be here yet.
Wait, what, really?
Yes, that's happened to me before. It sucks.
That's so silly.
Yeah, because the game doesn't expect you to get through the portal this fast.
Because the portal spawned on the opposite end of the island you are teleported on.
Yeah.
So
It
if
spawns-
you're not Super Geralt, it's literally impossible to go there that fast. But
Yes.
if we are Super Geralt, so
Also, the game freezes Geralt for a few seconds, so you can't run to the portal. It's impossible without using the speed glitch. And then here he's just skipping the horses because we don't need them. We're gonna ignore Yennefer.
wait, we're not bad, but of course.
She's a pretty bad wife to us anyway, a bad influence, so we're just gonna ignore her.
Who's that? Okay, I think we're gonna make it. I'm gonna make it.
Close, folks. Gonna be close.
Okay.
Oh,
I died.
I think he died in the same frame of the cutscene.
Oh yeah, the death was first. Okay.
There you go.
At one time I died and I triggered the cutscene and the cutscene actually happened. But
There's a-
this time I died.
There's the one death that every old patch run gets. Thankfully, we're in Skellige. The loading times are not very long. But we do have to do the crossbow glitch again.
Big deal. I'm on a pretty good time pace, to be honest. I'm only like a minute behind my PB at this point.
It's so annoying when you're you don't get the autosave on that rock by the right past the horses, and you don't get the cutscene trigger over here. I've had that happen in good runs. It's kind of annoying. But you did get that autosave there, so you can give a little go. And you just
And now we have the dialogue.
we have
don't-
that
it doesn't-
dialogue. And I did say earlier that we were gonna not see Velen again, but I lied. So we are gonna see him again. The final boss fight.
Actual final boss fight.
Every time you do this, I get ready to stop the timer.
We're not joking, it's actually the last split of my split. So.
I keep getting hacked over here.
We're there.
It'll
Don't
be
worry.
done in about 30 seconds. So yeah, we load speed glitch. We're gonna equip again. We're gonna go out of our way to skip the werewolf here because that's just cutscenes that we don't need. And we're gonna go to the final boss fight. And I assure you, this is the last boss fight in this game.
I can actually one cycle it. Let's see if I get this.
Yeah, it's pretty tight, but it's possible.
I'm not sure if I believe you.
So, ready?
Time.
Ready on time?
Oh, you gotta wait until she teleports.
Time.
That's actually a very competitive time. That'd be third place at this point.
Only 1 minute and 46 seconds behind the world record. I got so many goals here. Okay.
Very nice.
Maybe except the last split. It was a good run. We did some goofs, but it was all for the better. Chat enjoyed it. That's what matters.
Yeah, we hope you enjoyed it. Maybe this social experiment will help us get into GDQ.
It was all the mind trick. Yeah. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed our little showcase. This is the last round of the showcase. We showcased any percent old patch, the best category in the history of history. We showcased the Hearts of Stone DLC. We showcased Blood and Wine DLC. And I hope you like Witcher speedruns overall. If you do, make sure to go to our Discord and maybe start running on your own, because it's not that hard, I assure you. And yeah, hope we're gonna see each other or this game later in marathons.
Yes, as we said before a couple times, I did submit to FGDQ, so maybe you'll see this again. And thanks to Relkin for helping us set this up.
No problem, it was fun.
We can follow all the runners. Who said that is a great idea?
Your commentary was pretty good too.
And as a repeat, thank you for all the runners. We had Puzzle, Boozemaster, Kuromo, Kadzik, and Nick here for helping commentate the entire way through. Do you two have any shoutouts to give before we wrap things up? Puzzle too, since I guess Puzzle's still here.
Yes, to the people who could not come in. So let me just pull up my Discord here. Trig, he used to go by a Trigino1, but his name is now Trig. So thank you for that. And then Gazton and then Philip the Cat are the mods of our Discord, so thank you for helping us out. And then, yeah, just you have any other people?
For me, I mean, thanks to actually shout out to Games Done Quick for teaching me about speedrunning. I never knew it was a thing, and so I was like, hey, I like The Witcher, so I'll try The Witcher. So I wouldn't have known speedrunning existed without GDQ and everything it's actually helped me with. Just playing a game I like over and over and meeting people who enjoy the same thing. It's fun and it's really cool. So shout out to Games Done Quick and the staff and everyone who runs it. Really helped me out personally in many ways. And shout out to the Discord. The community is awesome. And friends and family who have watched me play this game way too much, trying to find new glitches that don't work. But shout out to them for just encouraging me, and I'm sure they're here watching. So thank you so much.
Yeah, the same goes for me too. GDQ has helped me get into speedrunning and it kind of inspired me as well. So thank you for that.
As a final word from me, I want to say shoutouts to Polish speedrunning community. We are pretty large and we are still growing. We even have our own marathons. Probably no one's watching me from the Polish community right now because it's exactly 5 a.m. where I'm living. So I think we're gonna wrap this up and I'm going to sleep because I'm almost dead.
Good night.
Thank you again for you and the other European runners for being up late and showing off this game for us. It was a lot of fun. But with that, we are going to wrap things up here. As a quick reminder, make sure you tune in tomorrow for Time Capsule at 8 p.m. Eastern. We have 2 new shows debuting this week, Friday and Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern on Friday and 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. So those will both be a lot of fun. But we are going to take a quick break here. We're going to play a few ads and then we're going to raid someone so that all of you fine people in chat could go cheer on someone else who's speedrunning and wish them good luck. So if you stick around after the ads, we're going to drop you all on somebody else who's speedrunning. But otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.